Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now. Everybody talk. I just get it done. Everybody talk. I just get it done.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're right here at the tail end of the entire competition. It's grand finals night. My name is Blue Panda. Joining me on the mic tonight is Proto, of course. Mate, we're getting into it, the nitty-gritty end of things. It's been a hell of a season so far.
It has. It's been an absolute banger. One of the best seasons I think we've seen in a while. And, I mean, the team's having an absolute heater of a season. I mean, even yesterday we saw a great game to finish off with third place. And here we are for the grand finals this evening, Panda.
Look, let's get a bit nostalgic, why don't we? Let's have a look back at the format and how we found ourselves here. Of course, it's been a long road. 8 teams, 7 weeks, best of one, round robin, and that culminated, of course, in the semi-finals. Top 4 teams making it through. We now find ourselves all the way through to the grand finals, third place being won out, of course, by Big Brain Esports. And look, it was a push. It was a road to get here, obviously, but I mean, we started with 8 teams, and to find ourselves with the final 2, what are your thoughts?
It's been a pretty interesting journey for a lot of these teams. I mean, coming into this, obviously, we had a couple of new names this season, a couple of different roster changes, etc., etc. But the one thing that has been consistent throughout the last 2 seasons of Women's League has obviously been the Warriors and their streak of undefeatedness. And that is something that was obviously a refreshing comfort for some people, knowing that they could see that on the regular. But other than that, we actually saw some pretty impressive come-ups from teams like Radical, like Vertex, given that they have come under new names, different rosters, etc. And it has been really refreshing to see. The level of Siege that we've seen played has just been going up and up on the daily, and it's been an absolute pleasure to watch it. And here we are now for the grand final. It's been a road, it really has.
And of course, they're here for the money, not just the bragging rights. There is a pretty decent chunk of change available tonight, Proto. $3,000, of which half is available for the first place team. Whoever wins tonight walks away with 50%. Second place, I mean, they fall $500 short of their opponents, which is, I mean, that's a decent amount of money.
Yeah, it is. Third as well. Nothing to scoff at. Fourth is walking away with something this year as well, with some credits. But on top of this, it may not necessarily be part of the main prize pool, but we do have something else that we bought in this season, and that is the weekly best play. So if you get a cool clip, anything you think is worthy of the spot, you can send it on in. The details are on your screen right now. You go into the draw to walk away with your own cool little R6 chibi. So there's that as well this season, Van.
Yeah, they don't even give us those. So
yeah,
look, you might as well get in on this while you can, because otherwise we're going to be hounding Alex for those. Let's get on into it, though. Let's have a look at the standings, how we found ourselves here coming into the very last play day of the season. Of course, like you alluded to, the Warriors untouched, undefeated up until their semi-finals match, which was the first time they dropped a map all season.
Mm-hmm. Yes, RDC, the team actually to do it in the 4th seed. And what a way they did it as well, on top of that. But yeah, Warriors, after that little shake, have been doing some prep work behind the scenes. And I imagine coming into tonight, they're going to be more than prepped to go up against Vertex. This one is going to be pretty much David and Goliath, the battle of the ages. Because it doesn't get much bigger than this, Panda. It really doesn't.
No, and of course you see top 4 there on your screen from the standings, made it through into the playoff bracket, and it does leave us looking like this at the moment. Vertex had the easier of the 2 runs, Proto, coming in. They didn't drop a single map. In fact, the only map they've lost all season is to the Warriors, and the Warriors, the only map they've lost all season is to Radical Rebels, which, I mean, that's an interesting lineup going into this grand final.
Yeah, it is. RDC were also 4th seed, not 2nd. So, Vertex being closer in terms of points and score, etc., to Warriors than RDC were, and still then losing one to RDC is something that we're going to have to keep an eye on going forward into this. Obviously, there may have been issues behind the scenes that we don't know about in that current time.
If I remember correctly, the Warriors were all playing with COVID. I think it was the entire roster that was suffering.
Someone said that a lot of the players had COVID and someone was bad internet or whatever. It must have just been a bad week. But in saying that, it is still something we'll have to keep in mind for tonight's grand final because, well, if they lost a map to Radical, we could be definitely seeing a 3-mapper here this evening, Panda.
What if it's all a bait and switch, though? Maybe it was just to give Vertex some false, courage coming into this. Let's have a look at our match, of course, for this evening, the grand finals. Warriors Esports Club coming through, taking on Vertex Esports, 2 relative newcomers to this Women's League competition, but teams that are made up of staples of this competition as well. Vodafone Warriors, they're veterans coming into this. KT, Aussie Princess, Sav, Time for Pi, and Soy. And I mean, you look at the numbers across the board, the number of matches played, they're all sitting, just about 40, 50 matches each here in the Women's League. And the scary thing is, you look at even the subs on this roster, they are terrifying players as well.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a scary roster. I mean, the numbers really speak for themselves. KPRs, KD. It is pretty much the veteran of Women's League Siege stacks. But going up against them on the flip side of the card, Vertex Esports Club. Obviously, still quite scary given they found themselves in second. Cass, Hazel, Buddha, Peepo, and Serenity, a roster that no one should bat an eye at either.
I think it's incredibly apt that Buddha's, character skin there is is elite to Chunker with the Marshka helmet. I think that's incredibly appropriate, especially looking at the numbers. She is one that can really upset in the server on any given game day. So I would imagine she'd be the one to watch for this team coming into this matchup. But look, Proto, we've talked about the teams, we've talked about the setup, we've talked about how we got here. Now we're here. The question is, where is battle going to be done today? Let's have a look at the map vetoes. I mean, we have the staples here in the Women's League. Are we expecting anything crazy?
I don't think we really are. I think it's going to be mostly basics for both these teams, given that it is the grand finals. They're going to want to stick to their guns and what they're comfortable with. So map 1 being Clubhouse, no real surprise from Vertex. It's a map they're comfortable on. We've seen them play it a bit. They like it. Bank from Warriors is an interesting pick, given that it is the one that RDC actually gave them the run on. But they seem pretty comfortable in picking it out. So, maybe there's something going on there behind the scenes. And then obviously the decider being Villa doesn't get much. We don't talk about Villa. Forget Villa. We don't talk about Villa. But, given the map that shamed is one of the most one of the most played competitive maps in Rainbow Six, regardless of any league that you watch, it's not really surprising that we see that. So the only real curveball is going to be Bank. But given that the Warriors have already shown some weakness on it, now that they're picking it, that might be the curveball that we were talking about.
Weakness, yes, but you got to remember there has been a bit of a gap between then and now. So there's potential that, maybe, just maybe, they have tightened up those issues and it could be an even scarier prospect. But look, we go into Clubhouse first. Vertex have picked this map. Should the Warriors be concerned?
It's Warriors. They're undefeated. We've seen pretty much every map from them, and they've looked pretty comfortable on pretty much any map you take them to. This is one of the staple competitive maps. It's been around one of the longest times. Clubhouse is pretty much a standard warm-up. You see it in most games. Most teams are happy on it, and it's a map that teams sort of learn on when they sort of start from the ground up. And given that Warriors have been around for so long, really proficient, I'd imagine they're going to be relatively comfortable going here. Obviously, Vertex are picking it. They're going to be comfortable on it as well. But again, it is one of those maps that pretty much every good competitive team should know to a high level. And both of these teams being pretty insane, I'd imagine they're both going to be pretty capable on Clubhouse.
Oh, you'd hope so. You'd certainly hope so. Coming into the grand finals, it'd be a bit of a letdown to get all this way and then just flop. But look, I'm expecting this to be a brutal matchup across the board. Both teams are going to have to work their absolute hardest to pick the win up here. And look, I'm expecting at least one overtime, if not two. Potentially, as much as I do hate to say it, the likelihood of an outer-sider map coming into play is probably a little bit higher. My auto frame is just it's doing bits right now. But we are just waiting on the last couple of players in chat. If you had to predict, Proto, if you had to call it as we get on into Clubhouse, how is this one going to play out?
If I'm being completely honest, I think Warriors take this 7-5, given that their proficiency on this map is one that is not really faulted easily. And it's a map that sort of benefits their style of play as well. It can be very aggressive, which the Warriors like to do. So Vertex are going to have their work cut out for them, obviously picking the map. They're not going to get to decide what side they want to start on. And I imagine if the Warriors have any sense, they're going to be on the defense. Going into this Panda, 7-5 for the Warriors, I think, is where I'm going to put my money, or somewhere around that. But the Warriors, either way, are going to walk away with the win, I think.
Well, we get on into the op-ban phase. I mean, you wouldn't expect too much deviation. You're probably looking, Thatcher, maybe Habana, Valkyrie, Mira across the board?
Yeah, maybe a Flores. I mean, we did see Flores banned out yesterday. We actually saw Finker as well to go, which would be interesting. But yeah, Flores is up, which is the operator that the Warriors usually tend to go for when they go for the ban. But Thatcher being taken first. But no, there you go. So, okay, so Vertex is just going to follow it up with the Flores anyway. But yeah, Thatcher Flores, I think Valk-Mira is the safe two. Maybe the Cade goes over the Valkyrie/Mira, but other than that, I don't think there's going to be too much deviation here. Nothing spicy in terms of the bans coming out. Last is probably going to be Valk-Cade. Maybe Wamai on a bad day, but you never know.
I mean, the Warriors,
we will in
they
about 5
have their
seconds.
option. Yeah, they have the option. They could obviously let the Mira through, or the Valkyrie through, rather. Look to play it in their own defensive half. It's really about what they want.
No.
It is going to be the Valkyrie ban, so they will have Cade available to them, which means that Vertex are going to have to bring their best Maverick Tricker in to try and deal with it. If not, Twitch as well, which we have seen used quite significantly over the last couple of weeks in high-level competitive Siege to deal with the likes of the Cade and whatever denial is in play.
Cade's a difficult operator to deal with without practice. Obviously, both of these teams are going to have practiced that scenario. IQ, I don't know if that was a deliberate pick from Serenity. I guess we'll see in the repick phase. But if the IQ is stuck here, that's going to be pretty big, provided that there is a Pulse, Mute, Jaeger, and Cade on the board here. So a lot of utility directly deniable by the IQ. However, when played properly, Cade by himself, just with the gun alone, the Nitro, insane operator. So, especially in the hands of Soy, can do some big damage. But yeah, I don't think Vertex can have too much issue clearing that out. They have the Maverick available, and the kitchen hatch, obviously, you can clear out with just a grenade from up inside the kitchen through some verticals. So that's not too difficult. But it looks like there's a small bit of SSG going on here. Or SSG style, rather.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of teams sort of leaning back into it almost. Over the last sort of 4 to 6 months, teams are sort of willing to go for that vertical extension. I don't think we are going to see the full commit. I think maybe even just a bit of mind games here for the Warriors trying to make out like they're planning that extended roam. Yes, there is the mute upstairs. KT, it was going to be a little bit late to that CCTV wall, so we'll just be going to the garage instead.
Oh, that would have been a way to lose the first pick as well. But Vertex actually sending 3 people over here to sort of play for the more default take. Obviously, they're going to go top red side. Well, maybe not. I'll take it back. More towards Logi, it seems, possibly on the hatch. Obviously, with Sledge on the roof, there is a lot of avenues that she can go down. That's obviously when Cass chooses to do so. But yeah, it's going to be clearing these players out on the top wall. It is going to be prime concern. They do have Crypts T to worry about, but having time for fire on the pulse as well, providing all the information from the main stairs down in the kitchen hallway as well, that is going to make things for Vertex a lot harder, provided that they switch off of that eye. Now the drones are going to have to be a really big piece of their utility here.
First minute and Vertex, I mean, they're really not giving in to the bait, so to speak. They don't want to push straight in aggressively. It would seem that they are aware that there is a pulse in play, so they're just going to bide their time, play it smart, clear out a lot of these angles. The Maverick not being in play this round means that Vertex are going to have a harder time clearing things out. The nade to try and take the claw off the hatch, but there's no resistance from blue.
Yeah, Sav is actually going to be able to get away there with most of her health. It looks like it's going to be a sort of a blue, maybe main split here for Vertex. I'm not too sure. They don't, with the having no Maverick in play, it's going to be difficult for them to actually get in the moto unless they sort of force down the main stairs, which, looking at how they're setting things up, it's just going to be a blue execute primarily, with 5 players all being over towards that east side. They've made it into blue. Serenity's actually leading this charge on down with the Zofia. Will spot 1 player. First kill to go for the Zofia. Looking for the second. Sav to fall as well. And now, very quickly, Vertex have good control of blue and are making their way into the site, with Zofia finding a third. Cass to take down Soy. And it's going to be Serenity for 4 Vertex. In the first round, what a way to kick things off for the grand final.
How many times have we seen this on the basement? I mean, you can set up as best you want, but the attacking team, more often than not, will find success here. It can be such. It's not exactly how you'd expect the attacking team to have found success. Usually, it's from vertical pressure in the kitchen, and they've denied all those possible angles from Armory. But no, the push down blue works just as well for Vertex. They are going to go for the reattempt, though. The Warriors wanting. I mean, you got to see no real utility committed whatsoever.
Yeah, there was pretty much no real utility dedicated at all, other than the blue hatch was opened up by Peepo. That's pretty much it. A couple of flashbangs, a couple of grenades here or there, and that was pretty much it. I don't even think we actually saw any vertical play in kitchen at all from Cass on the sledge. Other than that, it was really just a Serenity show, walking into the site, cleaning up the hill that was in her way. So, yeah, great entry there from Vertex. Without sort of dedicating too much to it in terms of utility, that's a really big round to walk away with. Put yourself in the driving seat early on in the grand finals, especially. It's going to be great for the mental.
5 seconds remaining.
I mean, that was so odd. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen such an uncontested push through blue for an attacking team on this map. 9 times out of 10, you've got some sort of utility to deny. But for some reason, the Warriors, they completely forsaken it and let the Vertex crew roll on down and take some significant control. And once again, it's leaning that way. Vertex are taking significant ground, and the Warriors are playing a little bit scared, it feels.
Well, they almost kind of have to at this point, because the roam game has just been so well shut down by Vertex. They have the information on the top floor to some degree. They know that at least one player is up there. They've got all of these players set up for these crossfires, but they're not quite ready for that to happen. Cass going to go straight down, and Serenity's going to find her 5th fire. The mouse one comes in clutch.
Is it really a pre-fire if you haven't stopped shooting
150 bullets? Yeah, I don't know. Is that a pre-fire or is that suppressive fire?
At what point does it stop becoming a pre-fire when the box mag is involved?
Yeah.
Either way, look, it's a kill. It's a kill. It's an answer back. Unfortunately, though, you lose Sledge for a mute. Warriors kind of take that.
They have to. They kind of have to. Cass to go down, trading for the mute, get the sledge. I would say pretty good there for Warriors. They lose a nitro, but they take away all of the soft breach and verticality, really, other than the breaching charges, which, let's be honest, not as effective as the sledgehammer, and have to be placed more sort of conservingly now that they don't have that soft breach available. But in saying that, half the round is now being spent, starting to get the hatches open to make their avenues into the side a bit easier. They have bought the Maverick this time, so things are going to be a little bit more straightforward in terms of the way that they're going to be getting into the site, instead of just forcing through blue. But that nitro from Time for Pie on the pulse to find Hazel. That is unfortunate. Losing the Finky here with Adrenal Surges on the board. Rather unfortunate, but it leaves Vertex with only 3 going into the final minute of play. The Warriors hold on with 4 on the site to try and defend to retake the round and even things out on the bottom floor.
I mean, the scariest thing being is that Time for Pie can just feed that info through to the rest of the team. People are trying to make something happen. We'll be able to get the exothermic off, and I believe, yeah, it's onto the church rules. They have the avenue into the site. Unfortunately, she will fall immediately after getting the job done. Aussie there, Soy falls, well, Fells, father, sorry, Buddha. Serenity will get herself one more. But again, the Warriors, they hold on this time much better than the last. And, I mean, look, maybe it's a case of reattempts.
It could definitely be that. Obviously, first game of the day as well. It's Vertex's map pick as well. So there's all these things sort of compounding right now. But the Warriors definitely didn't let it get to them. The mental was there. They managed to close it out. find that round for themselves. A couple of changes made here and there, but overall, really well done. They've corrected, recentered. Now they're going to be going upstairs to Gym Bedroom, not CC Cash, which is interesting, being that Gym Bedroom was traditionally more of the tertiary pick on Clubhouse, but provided it's had a little bit of a resurgence now since the rework, it's actually sort of become more of a secondary primary site.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some insane innovation from defensive teams on the site. And with Time for Pi also bringing that clash, I think that there is room for some very, very, I wouldn't say necessarily aggressive, but annoying plays for the Vertex crew to come up and against. Cass cannot move. Unfortunately, it looks like we might have a cursor bug there, just a little bit. But, I mean, from what we're seeing on the defense, this is a pretty scary looking roster.
Just the clash makes it scary. Obviously, we've seen the clash from Warriors before. It was ultimately what allowed them to walk away from the RDC game with the dub on Villa. But yeah, clash is something that we've seen Warriors use really, really well in the past, and something that I'd imagine they're going to continue to use very well here in the current round. Apparently, we've had the cursor bug also rectify its own issue, so no rehost. Thank you very much. But yeah, look, clash in play for Time for Pi, and just the type of play we're seeing from this site. No real cache extension. They have reinforced it. They have got some utility over there, but there is actually nobody right now inside of cache. It is going to be more of a hard construction with 2 in Logi, which is not something you usually see on Clubhouse upstairs.
It was also a rather interesting setup in Logi. If we can get a quick gaze at the wall there, Skiz, you can see the opening there, so the rotate, but also footholds, which I'm not sure what the game plan is here. Obviously, they're playing around the ability to play, you know, cheeky angles, the rest of it, knowing full well that they've got a clash to be that distraction factor. But look, I have faith that the Warriors know what they're doing and they can make it work.
Attackers have located a bomb.
100%. They do have the mute for the wall denial as well, so it does mean that Vertex are going to have to clear that utility out pretty much before they actually achieve anything in terms of hard destruction, but they only really have the Habana to play here, and Peepo is going to be on that job, holding down the peak from the server, so then no one can swing out of cache. But I mean, look at how the Warriors are playing. No one is playing super aggressively. Everyone's sort of just playing for their position. Obviously, the clash is just feeding the information back and forth in terms of the comm control. And things are going really slow here for Vertex. I mean, half the round, or, well, almost 2 minutes have passed, only just now getting the wall open, and have only just now made it into the building. But Soy's going to welcome them downstairs and take down Hazel on the Yana, walking through the main door.
Caught with the Gone 6.
Yeah, unlucky.
That is unfortunate. But, I mean, look, at least Verta is going to accelerate things, get that wall open. Serenity not being over there makes it a little bit harder because they don't necessarily have the utility. I say that Cass is rotated over, so they will have that open up. It's just a death trap, though. That's the unfortunate nature of this site set up from the Warriors. Anywhere they enter in, there is going to be someone watching an angle. Bar this push here, and the smokes are going to be there to deter as well. Aussie swings, finds Serenity. The nade pop towards the bathroom. They're going to not commit to it, in fact. Buddha might have been able to find a kill there, but no, eaten by the ADS. Is there a follow-up? No toxic canister. And they're going to be completely deterred. No frag grenades now remaining, and this is completely flopped here. The swing is good. Buddha will drop Sav, but the clash is just a nuisance, and Buddha's pushing into the smoke to try and avoid it. Shotgun swing from KT any moment. Just look at the dwindling health. Look at the futility of the play, and it's Aussie for another one. KT swings, finds 2. And the culmination of one of the most infuriating operator lineups I have ever seen comes and goes the way of the Warriors.
I think they only lost like 2 players there in that final push. That's great from the Warriors, taking top floor first try. No need for the reattempt here. It is going to be straight over to CC Cash, as we sort of already alluded to. More of the tertiary pick, the main pick / secondary pick of old, but it's going to be the third site of choice here for the Warriors. They're not going to be bringing the clash into CC Cash. They're going to choose to forfeit that one out. They have got the Jaeger Mai, though, so Garage is going to be a huge point of contention, it seems. The question, obviously, is now going to be, are they going to use the Cades on Garage as well? Because clearing out the Cades in the rafters probably one of the harder things to do. It requires a lot of utility. Soy's jumped straight on down to reinforce these walls as well. So I'd imagine that is going to be the play here for Warriors. But I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else from them. They have really great strategy and they play really great strategy. So no real surprise here that that's what they're going to be choosing to do. Serenity. Things have been relatively good though so far for both teams.
I don't know what you mean.
I think it's...
Hey, she just does it for the love of WK10.
Yeah, true. True.
Don't need to pay Cass. Oh dear. I mean, look. I think, yeah, the shaky start through the Warriors for a loop, but now they're back into it. They're looking scary. They're looking keen. I think this round probably going to be quite telling. Obviously, if the Warriors win it, they got 3-1. I think they could have quite easily closed out the half, but if Vertex can bring it back 2-2, that confidence that Warriors have accrued over the last 2 rounds might be shaken.
I mean, again, Vertex is map pick, so you'd hope that they have something spicy lined up here to at least do some damage on their attacking half. This is usually regarded as a defender-sided map, but in saying this, it's pretty much anything goes at this point. Serenity takes a lot of damage there. Time for Pi on the mute, dealing huge amounts of damage, but it's actually going to be the life going forward. Hazel's going to be following that paired with her second entry. Time for Pi is going to get away. She hears the players chasing. The Nitro is going to go off somewhere, but it's not going to connect. Yeah, the Logi drop. Unfortunately, no one there to collect, and she's actually going to get away with her life in that instance. And that's going to be huge for the Warriors because now not only has the mute disappeared, the damage has been dealt. Yes, the Tinker's on the board, but that's going to draw that utility out from Hazel early on to make things a little bit more difficult in terms of health here, which we've already seen the Warriors do really well to dwindle away in that late round with the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the great ground that has been taken by Vertex already, you just look at the Warriors, they are backing themselves in the situation. They're not giving up any of these, unnecessary angles, and so far they might just be able to hold on. The nade gonna just dissipate, unfortunately, to the magnet. Time for Pi caught on the breach. But you look at this setup, the Warriors are not peaking angles unnecessarily. They're not giving an inch where they don't need to.
They really don't. I mean, backing off could be a bit of an issue here. That nade's going to actually connect there for Buddha, taking down Sad, but Soy's to find Hazel. So the Nitro is there, a bit of a trade in terms of finding those 2 kills, but it's inside of cutout. Buddha's going to find one. Time for Pi misplaced, and unfortunately that is going to cost her. But look at this from Soy. Downstairs inside of stock, has a great angle onto the hatch, but to Cass now finding Aussie, things aren't looking good. Panda, Crips T will find Cass for compensation, but a 3v1, it's not looking good for Soy.
Oh, opens the floor just by the bomb chassis. Will give away the game. The plant going down in cash. Soy now in garage has to rotate at the raft. This is the time resets, and Vertex are going to have an amazing setup for the post plant. So it really does have it work cut out for him. He needs to find some long angles, and you can see that this could get very risky, very, very fast, but no! Reads into the Buddha relocate, and that's a quick kill to bring it back to the 1 versus 2 player. Red player over towards Con, the rotate up. Soy's going to get caught looking the wrong way if she's not careful. Thinks it's outside on the breach, but it's not. Crosses the doorway, gets herself back in, has no idea where the diffuser is. Too many angles and not enough time to find it. All the pre-fire Soy! She's good for it. If she can find the diffuser here, she might be able to make a play. And it is exactly what's going on. Soy looking for the defuse. Peepo, and no, doesn't have the angle. Soy!
Oh.
Soy's going to look to hold it down, but no. Unfortunately, Hibana is just a little bit too quick.
It was actually really close. There was like 0.8 of a second left on that, or 1.2 seconds or something like that left on that defuse, which could have been pretty scary if, if Peepo had thought, oh, she's faking it maybe for a bit longer, but it doesn't matter. Peepo is there. She's going to shut it down on the Hibana. Support players always doing the best of God's work in terms of clutching things out and getting those bomb downs. So, very well done. And they've equalised 2-2, but, I mean, they're still yet to really find a definitive lead. No one's made a mistake as of yet. So, it's always good to see.
Buddha asking the real questions in chat. You stressed? Yeah. Look, I can imagine that the Warriors are quite stressed right now. They're currently fighting for the title of best Warriors team in the entirety of the organization, not just the esports side.
Undefeated for 2 seasons is definitely something to brag about to the org across the board. But yeah, look, at the moment, I think it's just sort of both teams feeling each other out to some capacity. Obviously, these are the top two teams this season, Panda. They are the best in terms of what we've seen so far. Obviously, that's why they have the top two spots. And this is a best of 3 format. Obviously, in the best of 1, Warriors came out on top. But now that there's a little bit more to it, obviously that plays on the mind, it plays on the play style. You have to think of longevity. You know, there's a lot more going into a best of 3 here. And that might be what's impacting both teams. But again, it's game number 1. It's feeling things out. And it is Vertex's map pick. So Warriors, even if they do go down on the half here, I don't think it's going to sort of affect them too much. Obviously, defense start is the best. You want to get as many rounds as you can. But Vertex, they're looking to at least keep it 50-50 before the split.
Yeah. I bet it's very much been led by Buddha and Serenity so far. Hopefully, Vertex can start to warm up the rest of the team rather and get themselves in. Peepo, Havoc obviously clutched that last round, is doing the work that you would expect from a support. But I think the Warriors, they've come into this matchup and they've been caught slightly off guard by Vertex and their approach.
Yeah, they definitely have. Vertex have changed their playstyle a little bit. It's a lot more concise but aggressive, which when you take aggressive to aggressive, it's very hard to deal with. And obviously the Warriors being quite an aggressive team, they have, you know, quite capable gunners as well. Time Fire, Soy, well, arguably all of them. But yeah, they're going to get the verticality off this round. So Cass hasn't died early on, and they're actually switching the push up a little bit here. They're going to not go for the Moto Blue. It's going to be more of a main hatch drop, possibly with some dirt control. We're really yet to see, but the team need there to take out the drone means that Time for Pie might not have been spotted just up until that point. But no one is on the vert to capitalise. She's going to be able to get away without any real issue. And bottom main looks like the next point of contention here.
Only the one Nitro Cell remaining. It's in the hands of Soy. I mean, that's potential, if nothing else. And all of the shots, the pre-fires coming through main. Cass and Hazel there will be able to get themselves in position. They might even go for that dash towards Moto. Ash Wall as well being soft means that there is potential for another cheeky angle to come through. They're even going to pop it. They might push through, but Peepo falls. The long-range spray from Armory is good for Buddha as well. Prone in church. Soy will take the knees off Hazel. 2 players now remaining for Vertex as they will go for the pickup onto Peepo, bringing it back to a 3 versus 5.
Definitely doable here, but with Crips finding one on the flank, Serenity to fall. That's not the best start to a clutch attempt with only 20 seconds left. Crips T, no, so close to the headshot, but can't. Peepo doesn't commit to the swing. They're going to try force bottom main, but Soy's there. Peepo will find one in consolidation, but with 11 seconds left, 20 HP and no diffuser. It's not looking great in a 1 versus 4. She's going to push on the Moto, but Crips T coming down main stairs is going to find her anyway. That's going to be another round for the defense on the board.
Oh boy, the half. It's been kind of as we expected. We did sort of call this being quite even, but we are going to be heading to Gym Bedroom next. And last time it was a brutal gauntlet that Vertex were unable to run.
Yeah, with the clash, it was just, and the smoke from Crips as well. It was pretty much just impossible for them to make any real dent. They had everything they needed. They had the wall open. They had the Logi hatch open and some pressure there as well. They had the master window control. They even had CC open to stop the peaks from server. But with that clash, arguably the clash didn't even really do that much. It was more Crips T on the smoke denying main breach, and then everyone else sort of cleaning up when they did manage to get on through on the crossfires, and it was a really good round for the Warriors. So no surprise for seeing them go straight back when it's available to them to try and lock this half out at a 4-2. But again, that is best case scenario right here for the Warriors. And given that that's probably what they need to be aiming for in the grand final, no real surprise, Panda. No real surprise at all that we're seeing a repeat of this site and a repeat of the strategy pretty much to a T in terms of what they bring.
Well, I mean, the clash arguably did enough. It was less about the Clash being there to deny shots or anything. It was more just like, hey, look at me. It was like the clown in the middle of the bullfighting ring to try and, it was in the middle of the rodeo clowns, rather, to try and keep the riders safe so that they could actually do what they needed to do. So, not that I'm, calling Time to Fire a clown or anything, but it worked. She was the big distraction. Vertex was so worried about her that the rest of the team cleaned up.
Exactly. It is more of a, shoot me type thing with the Clash. You do have to be very wary of it, but angles opened up here on the main window now. Hazel and Serenity going to be doing their best to open up some of these angles and go for the main breach. Maverick's already going to work getting that one open. So it is going to be opened up relatively quickly here with Zofia as well. But Soy on the lurk could be going for that run out, provided that if Warriors want to do that style. Hazel's actually going to entry here downstairs. No drone, she's just going to walk straight on in. The drone now coming. Soy has got to send off some shots. So close to the headshot there. Not going to find it. Is going to be able to retreat again with her life on that roam. Hazel's chasing, actually, this kill, so this might be bad if they want to walk up main stairs. But the shotgun, I'd imagine, is going to be there. No, they've rotated the Clash over. Time for buys there. And it might actually just be a main force here, Panda. 3 players are there.
Oh,
yeah.
Soy does fall. But the utility dump is a bit scary. Buddha on the breach will find Time to Fire. And you hate to see it, but Buddha still locking down the breach. That's what, her second kill from that angle that they just haven't worried about. Crips T swinging, will find the kill, but she is stuck. Aussie will save her. Serenity does fall, and that's diffuser control on Jacuzzi. With a minute 12 remaining, Peepo coming over towards Con. Might be able to make the push on through, but Aussie has an idea that she's there. The health bar is not ideal at all for the Warriors. That was messy, but they've brought it back somewhat.
The fact that Grips was able to run out the breach there, get that kill, and still not be taken down is a huge thing for the Warriors here. Oh. Especially finding that kill onto Peepo as well. Hazel now left in a 1 versus 2. On the Twitch, definitely doable. The F2, something formidable at best. A foolproof camera there to provide some information. They know that Hazel's making her way towards Jim. Has to play for the bomb plant here. That is going to be the point of contention. Might choose to go for frags. Obviously 30 seconds left, Panda. The smokes are in play as well. Things aren't looking too great given her position now inside of the site, but it's actually just going to be forcing onto the kills. We'll find the first. 180s onto Con. Knows that she needs to find Crips T, but Crips playing for the bomb plant. It's going to be the smoke to cover. Going to rotate on round to Jim. Needs to get the bomb down here. And actually walking into the site, Crips is going to get up close, but Hazel wins the 1v2 for Vertex. 3-3 on the half. What a clutch.
Took you long enough to get warmed up. Hazel finally hitting the shots. Closed out the half quite cleanly, but it's only a start for the Warriors, unfortunately. 3-3, not ideal for their defense. Unfortunately, the timing not quite leaning their way as much as it needed to. They go on to the attack. Vertex head to the defense. Again, honestly, I still couldn't call this one.
It's a bit hard, really, when it's been so back and forth, but we've seen that a lot recently, though, Pan, haven't we? A lot of 3-3 halves between these teams in the upper brackets. I mean, we saw it yesterday for the RDC BBE game. We saw it even in the qualifiers for the first round. Warriors, Radical sort of starting it off 3-3, 4-5 type thing. You really only sort of start to see mistakes being made around the 5-5, 4-5 mark. That's when a team will sort of figure something out and it'll, a light bulb will come on. It's one of those moments. But as you said, I think we're going to see very possibly OTs, maybe max OTs for these games, and even possibly a third map, because these teams are just so evenly matched. And it just makes for the best Rainbow Six. It really does. This is shaping up to be a pretty insane matchup so far.
Indeed it is. Hazel bringing out the suppressed T5 on the Oryx here on the defense. Interesting. Not at all what I would have expected, but I mean, especially with the site being so distant, you can get upstairs. In fact, there is a pretty heavy commitment of vertical play from Vertex.
Yeah, 2 players off site. Possibly even 3. But in saying that, the roam, again, we have seen, as we've said, more of that SFG style, more of that top-down. sort of first and secondary position roams. Time for Buy is going to be spearheading the charge here. No one there to trade out the frags. Hazel takes a lot of damage, with the live drone obviously being there. Time for Buy knows that she can sort of push on through and attempt to find these kills, but on the crossfire, Sav will take down Hazel. And very quickly, Time for Buy finds a second, and already for Vertex, 1 minute into the round, 2 players go down. That's a great start for Warriors attacking half.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vertex get the welcome to the party package in the second half. They lose out on 2 key picks of the Warriors. I mean, they're not even leaning on the Finker as a crutch. They don't need it. They feel comfortable enough taking their own gunfights. You've lost out on a large portion of your vertical presence, and now you can see just the rest of Vertex scrambling, trying to get back towards the site to hunker down and wait for that inevitable push that will be coming their way. 1 Nitro Cell, no impacts to try and clear out any of this utility should that, kitchen hatch be contested. That's a scary prospect.
Well, as I was about to say, you still have the smoke, but not anymore. Time for Buy there. Will take down Buddha, unfortunately, so the smoke now gone. The only form of denial left in the hands of Vertex is going to be that Nitro Cell, and in the hands of Peepo, it could do big damage, but given that the Warriors are still 5 strong, the girls are going to be looking to maybe go for the flawless here. They've had a really great round so far. They still have plenty of time and utility to make that play. They've got a load of drones. The Nitro is going to be drawn out towards Kitchen to no avail, so that means all the denial for the defense is now gone, and it is going to come down to gun skill. With only 40 seconds left, Cass basically is almost dead. With 40 seconds, Panda, Warriors are starting to pinch down onto the side.
Yeah, a huge amount of pressure already mounting against Vertex, not to mention the player deficit they currently face. Tucked in behind the bar. The crossfire there from Peepo does provide some damage on the Time for Pi. The nade going to be caught by the magnet that pings through. They know exactly where Cass is. They found Peepo as well. Cass, unfortunately, will fall before she can even get a shot off, and it's a flawless for the Warriors starting off the second half.
I don't want to say it, but I called it. Flawless round from the Warriors. That was a really solid attack on the downstairs, though. I mean, that was the aggression that I mentioned at the start. We had the live drone there. Time for Buy didn't even need to rely on the refrags because the confidence was there. They had the crossfire set up on the main stairs from Sav. Were able to pick up on Hazel trying to get away through Logi. Then ultimately just, taking that second player was a bonus at that point. But really well done from Warriors. Absolutely clinical on their top down. And I don't think you could really ask for better than that. Vertex aren't going to do what Warriors did, though. They're not going to go downstairs for a second time. They're going to give it up off the get-go. Go straight upstairs to CC Cash. They're not too interested in attempting it again. So we might see it later on. But at the moment, they're going to give things up pretty quickly and go straight up to the secondary site pick. And that's probably a good idea, given that Warriors just had an absolute heater downstairs. I'd probably be going and switching sites as well.
Yeah, understandable in the heat of things there. I mean, it was just such a clinical take from the Warriors. They won their immediate gunfights. They swept up the remainder of the defense there for Vertex. So, yeah, look, I can understand why you would want to pivot so heavily. I'm surprised, though, it's CCTV over Jim Bedroom, surprisingly enough, because we've seen how heavily prioritized Jim Bedroom has been.
Yeah, it's very surprising. I'm surprised that we didn't even see it first here from Vertex, but albeit downstairs is strong for a reason, and unfortunately not too strong for Vertex this evening to start things off, which not the end of the world for them. It is still 1 round separating these teams, so not too much here. Unless Warriors can put the second on the board now. They are going to be mavericking open the main wall, as per usual standard procedure, opening up some garage angles as well. No Cade on that wall, apparently. So that is going to be allowed to be opened up pretty quickly by the attacking side here. But these shotgun holes are really making Cripstee's life hard on the Maverick.
Oh dear. It will be clean though. They get the job done in the end. Now it's on Time for Pi to open up that wall with the lifeline, so they have the breach. Surprisingly, it's the left side rather than the right, but it's Hazel, in fact, to find the first player. And Sav will be the first casualty of war, unfortunately, here at round 8. But it's in the armor. That's doable.
Yeah, you only really lose out on nades and an extra drone, essentially, so not too much loss for the Warriors. They are going to play for garage control here. Cass does have support from Swamp. It is going to be the Jaeger. Serenity to get two. Don't think she realised that both players were there, but Aussie and Crips none the wiser. They're going to go down, and very quickly, things for Vertex looking really good. They might actually even answer back with their own flawless here. Time for Pi and Soy, though. If anyone was going to clutch it out, these two girls are the one to get it done. They have the Zofia, they have the Sledge. They might just go for the Pixie Panda, but there's still a minute in play. A lot of time for both sides to work with.
I mean, if they can get Rafts' control, that could quite easily transition into a push onto the site. In Time for Pi, they are trying to deal with Cass right now. Unfortunately, the Toxic Canister is not going to help, and Soy will opt to head down towards storage potentially and go for that pinch. This is not at all... Oh, no. The diffuser's still there, still on the breach. Serenity, it's going to be a free kill. No, it's not. Time for Pi adjusts and recompensates. Finds the kill going into the final 30. Oh, come on, the Pixel. The Pixel was there. Time for Pi. Can't quite hit the shots on the Cass. They're still holding down the utility dump. The step up. It's another kill. Toxic Canister, no. Pi falls, and it's all on Soy to find 3 with 20 seconds remaining. This is not the ideal situation by any stretch of the imagination, Brodo.
No, it really isn't. Only 10 left in play now. She's not even going to get one. Peepo there to collect Soy. Vertex, again, just straight back on it. Answer back with a round of their own. 4-4, Panda. This has been the most 50-50 sided map. Again, well, between a top 2 set of teams that I think we've seen in a while.
Indeed, it has 4-4, and honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if we see things traded right up until that last round, all the way at number 15. Gym Bedroom finally on the cards for us. But both teams have had a pretty potent defense that their opponents haven't been able to quite match.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defended.
Yeah, it's been really good to see as well. I mean, you know, we have a round of upstairs, defense will win it, and the next round of upstairs, the attack will win it, and then the next round... Both of these teams on the fly are making changes and adaptations that are counteracting each other. But it's good to see. It's good to see that that strategy is there. It's good to see that they have their backups. They can, well, they have the ability to keep things moving, switching around, constantly changing, so that when they do lose those sites, which they have been, they can then go to a different site or the same site with a different strategy and then regain that round that they lost, keeping it 50-50. And it does make for some really entertaining Rainbow Six. But in saying that, we are yet to see someone really walk away with a definitive lead. And it's not the end of the world, but it does mean that we're going to be in for a longer stretch here, unless one of these teams can find something, some momentum, a lot quicker. But it looks like it might be just a small type of rush here for Warriors, which Vertex is sort of just waiting for. No one's running out Swamp there. That's a big misplay from the attackers.
Serenity is honestly just putting up numbers. Round after round, 9 and 7. Unfortunately, she has been fragged out just as much as she's been fragging. But those, I mean, the kills that she finds have been some of the most devastating to the Warriors so far this map.
She always manages to find like a really pivotal operator as well to take with her before she either gets fragged out or the round ends. But all the same, it is going to be Sav here. They have to clear out this Cash player, Cass. A lot of utility inside of Cash to keep her safe. They do have the Maverick, though. Starts putting in those lines of sight in the main wall. It's actually going to be Cash to get aggressive up on these Maverick holes. Obviously, there's no mute jammer left, and the ADS, Midas has been cleared. Now Cass to be spotted out by the Gemini. The nade through the drone hole's not going to connect. She's actually going to get away somehow before being taken down. And yeah, this is unfortunate to say the best here. For the Warriors, they can't catch Cass.
Just the insane amount of stress that Cass must be under right now. The nade is just going to land on the other side of the wall. But she's still good until Sav steps up and says, enough of this nonsense. We have a job to do here. Let's get it done. They will take out 2, in fact, as Soy finds Hazel. That player advantage is only singular, but that is all you need. Play the numbers game in the trades. Unfortunately for the Warriors, though, Serenity is still healthy and alive in the round.
Yeah, seeing as Serenity has been sort of the bread getter here for Vertex at the moment. It's going to be difficult for them. Only 45 seconds left to get this wall open. But the Warriors obviously have Crips T on the job. One of the most proficient Mavericks in the Women's League. Aussie will take down Peep on the swing, though. Sav goes down, but Crips T wins out that fight. Unfortunately, for the mute, sorry, it's not going to go in the wake. Serenity will find another player to add to her ever-increasing kill count. But Panda, there's a 1v3. Look at the health.
Serenity on the flank.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately for her, it is going to be a trade. Which, I mean, it's great. A trade is great for the numbers game, but when you're the last player alive, not ideal. So it will be around for the Warriors. But I still imagine came closer than the Warriors would have liked.
Yeah, very close. I mean, a 1v3, not the end of the world, but a 1v3 when it's one player on 100 health and the other two players have, like, what, 5 health combined? It's not really a 1v3 at that point, but in saying that. Round was clutched out nonetheless. The Warriors, again, take the lead, but do they really, Panda? Do they really take the lead just yet? They haven't been able to put a 2-round deficit on the board as of the moment. But Vertex, they seem pretty happy with how they took that. They're going to go straight back upstairs and give it another go.
Honestly, I think the question is it worth it? It seems to be cursed. Whoever has the round lead is destined to have it equalised. So the Warriors probably don't want it, honestly, in this situation. But Gym Bedroom, I mean, it largely played out how you'd expect it. They got themselves in, they found the kills they needed to, and from there, it just sort of crumbled. It did take them longer than they would have liked, I imagine, to be able to Cass, but they got her in the end.
Yeah, time was a big factor there for Cass. She managed to burn a lot of it and draw out a lot of utility as well. Obviously, the Maverick Torch, all the nades, etc, etc, etc. But just the time was a really big thing for her. Obviously, being in that position for so long, drew things out, but it didn't matter too much for the Warriors. They got the job done in the end anyway. So, in saying that, Vertex, they're going to go back to where they seem the most comfortable and attempt that top 4 again. Serenity, excuse me. Serenity and Hazel, though, are going to be the 2 players on this roam on the middle floor. However, I'd imagine Warriors are probably ready for it this time.
Oh, look at the angles though that Vertex are trying to play. They understand the situation they find themselves in. They lose this round. They're on, facing up against map point for the Warriors on their own map pick. So they are going to be playing these cheeky little angles, playing the dirty options, anything that they can use to get themselves the equalizer and obviously advantages here. And once again, oh my God, Soy just had a massive shotgun blast from Buddha.
The fact that she's not dead is going to be big there for Warriors, but still a lot of damage. So close to spotting the head of Cass here again, burning a lot of time for the defense to play off of. Oh, come on, Soy. So close. This debris just allowing Cass to stay alive for extended periods, but it doesn't matter. Time for buys there. We'll spot the player out, but it's Buddha to finish off the kill. Soy will fall in the end. A 4v4. Definitely doable here, especially with 1.5 minutes still left to play. All of the players for Vertex, though, coming back to the site now, going to play the angles and look to shut the Warriors down here, provided that they now have full cash control, but not really too much else to play off of, Pet.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Yeah, I mean, it's an inroad, but there's still so much work left to be done. Pre-fires, I think luckily they have got Time for Pie alive and healthy with that LMGE, if they can find a couple of picks. KT as well, stepping up and doing some numbers right now. I mean, they've got the options, they've got the utility to... You've got the breaching torch, KT. It's going to be a lifeline instead. They will pop it with the utility, courtesy of Time for Pie. And is KT making like a last-ditch effort to go for Jacuzzi?
Yeah. Same as last round. Really, really late, but it doesn't matter. One of the most, again, proficient Mavericks that we've seen in WL. Hippo's also going to be opening some walls off-screen. They are going to be able to open up this Jacuzzi breach with time to spare. But the execute has now only 20 seconds to play off, especially with Sav now falling. Serenity will find that player, make it 2. Aussie to go down as well, and now it's all up to Time for Pie and Crips T. Got to have to walk through the main breach and force the issue. They will find 1. Crips T to find Peepo. Things very quickly swing in a good position, but with Buddha taking down Crips T, no diffuser for Time for Pie. Serenity for her 3rd. Vertex They're going to equalise yet again, man.
It's cursed, I tell you. The round lead is cursed. No one can really escape it, and as a result, yeah, we are going to be going full regulation rounds here on Clubhouse. Gym bedroom locked out, CCTV cache is the option, which, I mean, was successful last time for Vertex.
It was. It was indeed. It's it was pretty close. They got it down to a 3v2, I believe, but still not close enough. Obviously not the round. So the Warriors probably not going to be too shaken up by this choice, but Vertex definitely a little bit more comfortable on it, knowing they've already won it, and convincingly won it, saying that. But yeah, 5-5. It's already been 10 rounds, so there is going to be definitely people starting to warm up now, you'd imagine. Everyone's getting that little bit sharper as the rounds go on. Serenity, big highlight for Vertex, 14-8 currently. Crips T and Soy both double digits at the moment, with Time for Pi only one away from joining the double-digit club herself. So big numbers with only 10 rounds played, Panda, going into the 11th. Good to see everyone putting in, and there's definitely some damage being dealt.
Serenity must have some sore shoulders by now. Honestly, it's not even like the rest of the team just isn't showing up. It's just Serenity consistently finds herself in the place to get kills and will not share them. So, look, I would not be surprised if we see the possibility of even a 20 bomb from her tonight.
Maybe. And if it's not this map, definitely one of the others. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all in play. Hazel will be taking some fire, so she's going to choose to run away and go somewhere else for her spawn peeking shenanigans. Saying this, Crips T going to be going to work on the wall, or at least waiting to get the okay to go to work on the wall. I think they may be trying to find the electrical here. I'm not too sure what the play is right now, but there's a little bit of a hold up in the Warriors side. But here we go. The wall finally getting opened up. It's going to give them a direct avenue into the site. Cade, secondary Cade Claw. Sorry, it might have actually fallen. I thought they'd thrown another Cade Claw on the wall there, but yeah, wall's open. So good start.
Still in the first minute. Like, that's insane. Just the efficiency there from KT. Good thing there was no impacts involved. Soy catches Buddha swinging the breach, trying to catch whoever was on the rappel, and that is one of your 2 nitro cells off the board.
Well, and Buddha. Buddha off the board is
denied double digits again.
Yes, for another round at least. But focus now shifts towards Garage. Now, last time we saw this, it didn't go too well for the Warriors, Serenity being there to make a big issue for them. But she's not close by this time. She's going to be drawn out by the main breach. May choose to come down red. People might be thinking about it as well. But it's going to be a relatively easy entry into Garage this time. No contestation. Flashbangs to start coming out. They're going to get all the burn that they need to clear this player out. The nade as well. It's not going to connect. They will spot the feet, though. The call has been given. Sav is there, and that is probably one of the most efficient Garage takes we have seen in a while, with 2 picks now for the attack, with Sav taking down Hazel.
Neither of them were KT, though. Oh my god, the resistance is pretty significant. But it's crazy that it was, KT swinging for both those kills and didn't get either of them. Pushing into the site. Time for Pi. We'll push the Warriors onto map point. Proto. One more, and they steal away Vertex's map pick.
Would be great for the Warriors, but given that we have seen the most 50-50 map so far for this best of 3, I mean, the curse, as you say, could come into effect once again, sending us into OT, but we don't know until the end of this round. It is going to be Church Arsenal, so they have had success already downstairs. But the Warriors have also had some pretty good rounds taking the downstairs as well. Keep in mind, the first time we saw this side attempted from Vertex, it was actually a flawless for Warriors. So take that into consideration with this. Panda, it's match point. It's going to lean that little bit harder here on Vertex's mental, knowing that 1 round separates them from the second map or the win here. Well, sorry, OT, should I say. The possibility of a win. But it's all starting to get a little bit more serious now that it's match point on map 1 for the grand finals here.
Oh boy, Vertex. I
10
mean,
seconds remaining.
realistically, it should be clean. They should be able to pull this off. They've
5
proven they can
seconds
do it.
insertion.
I think really the turning point is whether or not Serenity gets taken out first, whether they lose one of those key operators first. Because so far, the last how many rounds in a row, the first picks have traditionally, really been the ones to determine the pace of the round.
Yeah, arguably. I mean, last time we saw this, it was 2 kills from Warriors that sort of cemented them in the, cemented them in the opening department. But we've seen a small change here for Vertex. The Oryx hasn't really been paying too many dividends for them, so they've switched off and decided to bring the Mozzie. Now, that is going to be something that really hinders the Warriors, provided that they rely heavily on sending those drones forward and getting that information. But in saying that, they have already got those drones on the top floor. They have already cleared out pretty much everything. And they know that they can just sort of walk on through and start clearing things with the face check just to sort of physically make sure that it's clear. But everything has been forfeit here by Vertex. They're not extending upstairs. They may have some presence on the second floor, depending on where Hazel currently is. I think she might be on the bottom floor, though. But yeah, it's going to be, more. There you go. All 5 players accounted for on site. It's just a full bunker from Vertex to try and push it to OT here.
The hunker down. The investment into the nitro cells has to be clean, but already the Warriors in and above with lots of room to maneuver. This is where things start to get a bit concerning. Vertex, they might begin to question whether they've put the eggs in the right basket, and you can see the information just from the Vert being established. The Warriors know how a lot of the setup is being deployed.
Well, it's all familiar now. They've seen it a couple of rounds here. I can imagine there might have even been some scrims behind the scenes. You never know. But Warriors just playing everything out. Pretty much vanilla take. They're going to play for the verticality. Play to get these hatches open with the Maverick. Now, it looks like it is going to be a main blue split here for them. Looks like it's going to be the choice. Soy will be clearing out, I believe, the Cade Claw. Yeah, there you go, with the nade through the floor. So this is going to allow for some verticality. Buddha to fall first to Sav. That's going to be a good pick here for Warriors to find the opening, clearing out the blue presence as well. It's going to allow them to walk on down with 45 left on the execute to 5 bursters for Panda. It's all heating up.
It's getting even worse. In fact, 5 versus 3. Almost cut off at the knees, but it's 2 back in the way of Vertex. Unfortunately for them, Sawyer's on the job. Through the Vert, has support there as well. Sav pushing blue. Look at the players in church. Locked in, but Cass is good for a headshot. They will equalise that player count once again. Utility dump is not the cleanest, and, well, Warriors now have to readjust. Dropping in. Player watching the ankle holes cleared out. Aussie in position to go for that plant as well. And the coverage notes up there for Soy. This is dangerous. This is incredibly dangerous. Aussie is going to pull off the defuse. And the Warriors may have just whiffed it. The drop, the gunfight has to come. The defuse is there, and Soy's got to commit. This is not ideal. And Vertex will secure themselves OT.
What? Soy! Your teammate is planting. Where did she go?
Narnia.
A bit of a miscommunication there. Something for the Warriors not quite adding up in the attempted plan, unfortunately, there. But, yeah, okay. Vertex, they're going to be gifted that round on a misplay and find themselves in OT now. The Warriors fumbling the bag, as some would say, but it happens. It happens on occasion, and unfortunately, it's going to cost them in terms of having to continue to play Clubhouse. And they get attack half first, so not the greatest start, unfortunately, for them. But Vertex, they're going to be happy. They managed to get it to OT. They still have a chance to walk away with the first map here. It is their pick, and it isn't forfeit just yet. Good resilience from them. Even in the position they found themselves. I mean, what was that, Panda? A 2v4 from Vertex there to keep them in the game.
It was.
Yeah.
Indeed it was.
So, really well done there by Cass as well as her supporting teammate.
But the wild
Insane.
thing is, like, we go to OT, Vertex are going to get 2 defensive hubs, but I don't even know what that means, because it's 2-3-3 halves. Both halves have been incredibly even for each team.
5 seconds remaining.
So, 3 rounds means literally nothing. It's anyone's game.
Out to locate a bomb and
Pretty much. It's not great in terms of, obviously, just having to continue playing for so long. They do still have 2 maps possibly ahead of this. But as well as that, you now have to then take into consideration, well, how far is this going to go? Both of these teams are that evenly matched right now. It is insane. Because for the longest time, Panda, I think you would probably agree as well, the Warriors have looked arguably unbeatable.
No,
one
they
has
haven't.
been able...
Haven't
they?
No, I'm a contrarian, so no, they haven't.
Okay.
No, they have. They have looked incredibly strong. But I mean, they have. It's not even like they haven't looked weak. They haven't looked strong today. They've just looked on par. Both teams are on par. This is probably about as even a matchup as you're going to get in a best-of-3 format. And right now, unfortunately for the Warriors, Vertex have some power positions. If Hazel can get a kill onto a player pushing in, will be droned out now, so she's going to have to relocate. neither of the spots that she's currently holding is that great. Oh my lord! Unfortunately, will fall, but that could have been a pick and a half on a time for Pi.
I mean, they got the down, right? So that's always a good start. They have that player that they can sort of play to either bait or deal with the nade to come out to try and clear that player out. It's not going to connect. Serenity is actually going to be there for the res. So if a nade is placed here, which I don't think it is going to be, there is going to be no kill. It's going to be the nade instead onto the Ormai, and that down player is actually going to be able to get away towards the main stairs as well to maybe even go for the flank here, which would be big for Vertex, but I don't think Warriors are too interested in taking on towards Master All. Yeah, no, I don't think we really see any bodies in that direction. So it is going to be a straight main breach through Garage here, but Hazel, after being revived, is going to take down Sav in stock. And that's a big kill to find to equalize 4-4 going into the last 45 seconds. Warriors going to have to get this bomb down or at least get all these kills.
But where do you put the bomb? That's the big problem. There is a Nitro. There's 3 smokes on board. Serenity will form. That's a massive pick. That is exactly what the Warriors need. A Peepo as well. That's your Nitro up the board. It's just the smokes to try and deny. Aussie spots at the top of the head. And it's all on Hazel from revive to having to clutch the round up. Aussie on the plant. And it's all coming apart here for Vertex.
What?
We'll find one onto KT, but time for Pi answers back. Warriors on map point here in OT.
Just
absolutely shook.
There was 2 things going on there. It was Hazel killed, I think, the player in Garage. First bullet headshot through the wall, and then the AD shaky aim there just to close it out. I don't even know if that was BM or just sheer frustration that the wall existed. Either way, it worked out. It worked out in the end, so that works. But yeah, here we are. The Warriors again find themselves with a lead. Whether or not that's going to amount to anything, we obviously can't say anything on that at the moment, provided that both teams have just traded rounds, basically, sort of every instance they get. And yeah, Panda, this is a game that has the possibility to go to max OT here.
Oh, entirely. In fact, I would be mildly surprised and bemused if it didn't. So right now, I mean, the Warriors, they have the chance to close it out here. They head to the basement. No Finker on the board just yet, which, I mean, I have to say, I'm wildly impressed that the Warriors have not relied on it at all in their attacks. They've done this entirely without the help of the nano boost, whereas Vertex up until now have leaned into it.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Finker, for the Warriors, I don't think Finker provides as much as they would maybe hope. Yes, the nano boost, yes, the nades, yes, the Golden 60, yes, the LMG, especially in the hands of someone like Time for Pi, like Sav, even Soy we saw on the Zofia, but it's just, they haven't needed it. They just really haven't needed it. Vertex have pretty much crutched it. But they're going to choose to forfeit it this round. Serenity's going to be jumping on the Zofia instead. And it's going to be Dirt to actually be the first thing that's opened up here. And Serenity takes a lot of damage. Actually, is the opening kill. Sorry, oh, they're deep down Blue Panda. It's all the way in. They're rushing on down. Time for Pi to find Hazel as well. They're just funneling down one by one. Time for Pi for a second with a snap onto Vuda. the flank from Crips T as well. Is she ready for Cass? Indeed she is! And the Warriors,
Just
5
because
to
it
1.
worked once doesn't mean it'll work again.
Peepo left alone. Oh.
No HSP tonight, I think, Proto. No,
No.
holy smokes, Peepo for the clutch. And no, time for bye. Getting a bit too aggressive on the jiggle. Peak will fall. But there's a minute 50 and 4 more players waiting to receive Peepo right now. She has 1 exothermic, 3 stuns, and and the wall that she is currently shooting at.
Yeah, it's not looking great. I don't think it happens. The attempt will be made, but in terms of how much it's going to sort of turn into anything here, for Peepo, not looking great, provided that not a lot of util solo to work with, and plenty for the Warriors to play with. I mean, 3 smokes a night, 2 nitros, and pretty much all of the main gunners up on the board. I mean, Crips, Soy, just having them alive is going to make this a whole lot harder. But look at the positions. The crossfire's all set up. They have moto contact. They have blue. They have dirt. They have AKs. Everything is covered here for the Warriors. They don't want to even give Peepo another inch. Just going to walk straight into the waiting arms of Sav, and the Warriors finally are going to find that lead in terms of the 2 rounds and close it out in OT. For map number 1, they're going to take Vertex's pick and send it on to number 2, Bank, where we're off to. But what an insane clubhouse.
Yeah, look, it was definitely one that paid out in dividends. It looked great. It was honestly some of the best siege we've seen in this competition all season, as you would expect coming into the grand finals. But I mean, Serenity still topping the server, 16 and 12, but it wasn't enough. The Warriors, I mean, that's a big lead, and then plus that extra safety net going into Bank.
Yeah, especially now that it's their map as well. Just highlight real quick, Warriors there. Their top 3 players had 44 kills shared between them. That's 3 players. That's not all 5. That's just 3. That is some big numbers for those entry players for the Warriors. We wouldn't expect anything less.
And not just for the entry players, but as casters, that math is. I mean, I think you may have just used your last brain cell. We know how the caster curse works when it comes to maths. But, Proto, map 1 done. We are going to be throwing it to a break when we come back, going into Bank. But before we head there, what's your prediction? Who takes Bank? Do we get a 3rd map?
I think it's Warriors. Again, I'm going to have to say it's Warriors. If they're picking it, they're confident on it. And it's a map that I think it's going to be the curveball. I think it really is. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, when we come back after the break, we'll jump into map 2, that being the Warriors' pick of Bank, to see if we go to a 3rd or if the Warriors can hold on and defend for another season. We'll see you guys back soon.
Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now. Everybody talk. I just get it done. Everybody talk. I just get it done.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map 1 done. They made us work for it, Proto. They take us to almost full distance. We were 1 round short, 8-6. The final scoreline in favour of Warriors. They pick up the Vertex map pick. We now head to Bank, which is the Warriors map pick, and you've called it. You reckon the Warriors can do it?
I do. Provided it's their map pick, provided the Warriors usually don't sort of pick maps that they're not 100% on, I'd imagine it's something they've gone, made some strategies on, come up with something maybe a little bit spicy for this evening, and they're going to be busting it out here. Obviously, the grand finals, it's where everything counts. There's no strat saving anymore. This is where they're going to use everything they have available to them. So Bank, an interesting pick, provided it is one of the newest additions to the competitive map pool. But yeah, I do think Warriors, given that they've chosen it out, it's an attacker-sided map. When played correctly, the Warriors, I reckon they can get the job done here without the need of OT. We'll see.
We thought that in the last map, but we ended up there anyway. Bank, they got thrown on it. They got thrown for a loop on that map in the semi-finals, like you were saying. Do we potentially see that happen again? Is it maybe, just maybe? Actually, no, sorry, they didn't. They won that one 7-4. Never mind. I'm just completely wrong. So they've already won this map. Let's get on into it, Proto. I mean, again, are we expecting anything crazy in terms of pick bans? Realistically, it should almost be the same.
Maybe the Hibana goes this time. Other than that, I don't think it's going to be anything too different. Thatcher Flores, yes. Mira, obviously. The Valkyrie is going to be the only sort of Kuzi ban. Cade, not really a big issue on this map when sort of played correctly. Obviously, the Maverick is going to have to be employed majority rounds, but yeah, I think it's going to be the same. Panda underlying sort of tone. It's going to be the same 4 bans we saw, unless something is completely different, like a Monty ban would actually even maybe be good on Bank, but Clash even. Possibly
I think I'd rate the Clash more than the Monty.
Yeah, there you go, Hibana. So
just because we haven't seen any evidence that there's Monty to be played, Clash was very evident on that last one. So yeah, Hibana. Maybe even you do go something like the Jackal, relying that much more on the flank. But no, it's going to be a Flores, so they are going to let the Thatcher through. I don't know. I would have potentially rated a Jackal ban just a little bit more, especially on a map like Bank, which is so expansive. But the Flores, it's understandable.
Yeah, this also means that Cade doesn't have to be banned here, so I'm pretty sure we're just going to get the Valk Mirror lock in here, and that's going to be the lineup. Hibana, obviously, the only sort of minor change. Not very surprising, though, considering how strong she is on a map like Bang. It's also going to make opening Kanto a lot harder, because you can't repel on the window and open it up from the main lobby repel. So having Hibana out is going to make that slightly more difficult, but I don't think it's something that these teams are going to struggle with necessarily, both of which are very capable, and I'd imagine have some very good workarounds for this Hibana being banned out. So Thatcher to be let through. Whether or not he's played is a different question. Teams are just so used to having him not available now. But there's the Jackal you talked about. Crips T, straight out of the gate. Not even going to falter with it. Right on the Jackal. Ying as well from Sav, which is interesting. But other than that, relatively normal.
I think it's understandable, especially for this basement setup. With the way that teams often attack it, it's usually from server. You want the utility to cover that, so smokes, candelas, everything that dump is going to come through into the bomb site itself. They do have the MI Jaeger though, so there's potential for it to come apart. But I mean, look, the intention is there.
It is. It really is there for them. But server arguably the best side on Bank. I would argue it. Between that and the top floor, it's one of the two.
Okay, there, buddy. I think KT lost a drone. Sad.
I was gonna say I thought you were just like raining on it again. I'm like, let's go. But look, it's a castle extension, which I think has become the norm. Would you agree? We sort of see these castle extensions. He's really strong. We actually saw, I believe in OTS, it was actually banned. Castle, that is, against. I can't remember what game it was, but he's actually seen bans on this map. That's how strong he is. So
I believe it was the wildcard Bliss Grand Final.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
But it's understandable.
Even...
It's a pain. It's a nuisance. You don't want to have to deal with castle barricades, especially in those sort of. It's not necessarily. Oh, of course, Cass is dead. Is this going to be a straight rush? Yeah, it is. They're already in. They are already in the building, and they are already aggressing. I don't even know how KT got it that quickly. Wait, was that from Sav?
Yep, team down. No, she's still going! Why? Oh, wait, does Crips team maybe have a skin on or something? Maybe?
No, I think it's just a team thing.
Just straight up, no questions asked, just got to make sure.
No outlines on, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know, something going wrong. Well, competitive, there is no outlines, right? So, competitive settings, there's no outlines, no points. So he's, there's no negative 5 popping up on the screen. No, I think it's only operator icons in competitive. I might be wrong in saying that. I'm pretty sure it's only icons. It's both? Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So it is names. Yeah, I don't know then. I really don't know.
Confirmed Sav toxic teammate?
Yeah, maybe. Confirmation. 2 kills. Exclamation point claim, as Crips T would say, but it's not helping Warriors out now either, is it? Because people are finding time to buy.
They've gone from 3 LMGs, or actually no, only 2 because it was a Spear 308. Maybe that's why she was killed for not running the LMG. But I don't even know. This, of course, this is how things start off.
Oh, what a rough way to have it turn out. But 3v4 is definitely clutchable. Oh no, Serenity's still upstairs. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
How
That's
is
one.
it Aussie
Can't
that
you get
died
two?
first?
Yes, it is. Vertex. What a way to kick off the defense. Control of the diffuser now in the hands of Serenity as
Oh
well.
my
She's going to get
God.
all three. Vertex. What a way to start it off. Whether or not the team kill was what kicked that cascade of effects, I don't know. Panda.
We have our
is an
questions
opener.
for the interview.
Yeah,
have
we
our
do.
questions.
We definitely do.
Map
Oh.
1, where was the coverage on the plant in the basement from Soy? Map 2, what the heck was that, Sam?
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm so confused. It was such a good start to the round. Like, yeah, cool, they get in aggressively, they find their pick, and then Sam's like, nah.
The best bit was as well is like she down there.
she
And it was like,
fully
yeah,
traced
yeah,
into
guys,
the
I'm
wall.
down someone. I'm down someone. Self-res with the boost. Who's shooting me? Who's shooting me? Dead. Oh. what a way to
It's like those, yeah, am I clear to enter the building? You're clear. Oh,
Yeah, you're
sorry,
good.
I pre-fired, you're dead.
Yeah, sorry, you got in the way. Oh.
Women's League. I'm just, we're so lost. Like, how does that even happen?
I
Like,
don't even know.
oh,
If there
dear.
wasn't names and it was just icons, I could understand that. But
Oh, why
given
is
that
my
there are
finger on
names,
the ground?
yeah, why is finger down? Make, you know, like, I don't know.
We'll have to wait until after the match to ask. But right now, look, second round, up to CEO, Warriors, not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. We're only 2 rounds in, of course, but it's not how you'd want to start your own map pick.
Yeah, not great. Not great way to kick things off. Obviously, Warriors, being that this is their choice of map, they're going to be wanting to show off some interesting gameplay. Whether or not team kills are part of those strategies, I guess we'll find out in the interview. But for now, Vertex, they're going to be happy that they found the first. Obviously, a great way to kick it off, provided that you lost your map pick. So that's going to be good for the mental. Starting off strong on the enemy's pick. But Warriors looking to bounce back. No team kills as of just yet. A minute has passed, and they're actually already making their way in pretty deep. But here we go. This is the change that we're seeing. Obviously, without the Hibana, they're going to have to clear this utility more manually from down below, burning the ADSs, etc., and then using that ace charge or possibly even something else to clear this position out. But it's good to see that the utility is actually being used here to clear this position out. Instead of just leaving it up, they're going to still go for it.
They lose the shield, the Cade Claw, and some health off of Cass. And the magnet thrown to try and resist is going to be dealt with as well. This time, KT is still alive. Sav has not found the lineup just yet. Although it seems that maybe she is hunting for Soy top of the stairs. Wants to get up towards Banana, but there is a player to her right. If she's not careful, Cass could farm that quite quickly. I mean, this is. I mean, it's good ground being taken, but it's not ideal, especially with Hazel going down first. Vertex, the strong ground they did have, has forfeited.
Oh, Hazel to go down first. She hasn't been having a great set of games, unfortunately. Hasn't been lucky on finding these kills, but a lovely pre-fire from Soy to find her second in the round. What a way to find those 2 kills. Peepo is going to be deep back inside of the site. Serenity will find Stab, but a 2 versus 4. It's going to be a tough tall order, but Serenity's there. She's looking for 3 on the Echo. Takes down Aussie and Soy. Main stairs control now forfeit. It's going to have to be the cleanup crew to come on in. Time for Pie and Crips T. Have to make something of a bad situation. 30 seconds, Panda.
Oh, no.
Make it a 1v2. What has gone wrong for the Warriors?
Everything! Serenity for a 4th, and Vertex take the first 2 of the half. And this is not at all how we expected Bank to be going. And it all seems to have stemmed from that initial team kill. Everything has just crumbled.
Not good. Not good. Whatever happened there for the Warriors, how Serenity was allowed to find 4 in that position, I don't know. Maybe there was extra info. Well, it didn't even really look like there was info. I mean, Soy found those 2 kills Serenity was like, hold on, guys. I'm just going to go and have a word with the main stairs guys here, and I'll be back in a minute. Came back, found the last kill as well, and Vertex find themselves 2-0 up, which is actually going to push them into staff room open area, not Teller's Archives, which some teams choose to opt for, but still, very interesting start here for the Warriors on their map pick. Not the greatest of beginnings. Yeah, I don't know. Vertex are definitely going to be happy with it.
Oh dear, this is. I would imagine the culmination of all of Vertex's prep coming to this grand final is paying off. I did not expect the potential for a map trade.
Yeah, no, I was not expecting that. I mean, well, Warriors could still turn this around completely. But given that it has just been Vertex, you know, the Vertex show at the moment, it's not looking great for the Warriors. They've had a really rough start so far. That round obviously looked a lot better. I think it was just a little bit of miscommunication there from the top of main. And then obviously sort of not being able to deal with that player, unfortunately, as Serenity sort of walked on round. But it was a 5v2 up until the point where Serenity started fragging out. So there's that to keep in mind. But still, the round converted to Vertex's. Warriors shouldn't be losing those. Yes, they have the map advantage to play with here, but it isn't something that they should still be disregarding or at least relying on in terms of how they are continuing to play out.
I don't know, like, I would imagine this is far from the start that the Warriors would have liked coming into Bank, but it's, I suppose, how far does this slip in the first half? How much ground can Vertex establish for themselves, and how well can they prep themselves going into the second half? So the Warriors, I mean, I think it's understandable they'd want to slow things down just a little bit. The last thing you'd want is to get too far ahead of yourself, get too keen, and give them any more room to work with.
Sorry, I just read the chat from before. Anyway, verticality.
Hashtag proto-bake.
Yeah, proto-bake, let's go. The verticality is going to be the main focus here for the Warriors now, though. Obviously, with the buck in play for not very long. They were going to try and play for some of that vertical. They do have the sledge still to play off of, but with Hazel finding that nitro, it's not going to be the greatest of starts, unfortunately, for Time for Pi. She's going to be taken down. But the hatches to be opened up, the site to be exposed a small amount. Warriors are just sort of playing for the angles that they can get now that they've lost a little bit of that utility. Not too sure whether or not they lost the hard breach charges or flashbangs. I think it might have been the flashbangs. Yeah, it was. That Time for Pi took to the grave. But in saying that, a lot has been opened up and a lot of avenues are available here for Warriors in the final 40 seconds. With the Ying as well, it's very doable.
But again, that castle, Aussie hit with the full white screen, unfortunately. It's these castle barricades that are going to be the biggest hassle for them to deal with. There's just so many positions that they need to deal with. KT looking to pop the evil eye as well. I mean, she has a way in if she's confident enough to just jump in through the window, get behind that reinforced panel, and that's an avenue into the building that she could look to expose the weaknesses of the defense here. Pop nade through, but not going to follow it up just yet. Soy tagged heavy. They've lost one. They may lose more, but Peepo is the next to fall in the round. The push coming on through. No, there's a prone person to your right there. And, well, it's 2 quick kills, 3, and Vertex have just won it.
The best bit is the player prone on the floor killed the ace. Warriors have just had the most unfortunate set of events just keep coming at them, and they cannot catch a break. I don't even know what went wrong for them in that last round. It just came down to time. They were forced to take fights, and they just could not keep it up in the end. They had great starting round setup. They had great vertical, but as soon as they lost that nitro kill to Hazel, again, it was one thing that just set off a cascade of effects that ultimately then converted a Vertex round, and the Warriors are still yet to find anything at all in terms of consolidation on their map pick, which, as you've already alluded to, isn't great, especially when we then take into consideration that there is possibility of a map trade.
Oh dear. Which, I mean, the likelihood of us going to Villa is getting scarier and scarier. But, I mean, it's not over. It's never over until it's over. It's only 3-0 in the half. There's every possibility the Warriors equalise and go 3-3. And this could be a tale of the defensive side of Bank. But the Tachanka and Serenity being 8-0 does not help Warriors' case.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Serenity yet to be felled, which... That's scary.
Attackers objective.
I mean, we talked about the 20 bomb, Panda. We talked about the 20 bomb. Close in the previous, 16 to her name. But 8-0, 4 rounds in, is pretty big numbers being pulled up just by Serenity by herself at the moment. So for Vertex, it's going to be a pretty scary prospect if Serenity is allowed to continue fragging like she is. But given that Warriors have had such a rough beginning to their map pick, I think it just sort of highlights that Serenity is having an absolute game here on Bank. Could just be... Oh, no, the team kill. Hang on, Crips, don't walk out that way. Sav's on Rebel. Oh, okay, the teammates are safe this time. Lesson has been learned.
Oh, dear. I don't think anyone is safe from Sav.
Everyone is safe. Friend or foe.
A kill is a kill. Doesn't matter how you get it. Right now, though, Warriors are in. They're above. They're looking to get themselves some ground into the building. Hazel, top of blue stairs. Or service stairs, whatever you want to call it. And that's a position that needs to be cleared out in quick time. Time for Pi might even just circumvent it and go downstairs.
Oh, it could just be the walk in here, honestly. Okay, I say that. Beeper's there to deny that information. Oh, sorry, to provide that information, rather, should I say, for Vertex. As Buddha sort of locks herself in the garage. It's going to open up that angle on the door, or at least prep it so that there is a quick ability to make that rotate. But Warriors, they're setting themselves up for a most likely hard server. Opening up the hatches upstairs. The one inside of the site is going to be a little bit more difficult to clear out, obviously, with the Cade in play and no Thatcher, which we've actually yet to see make an appearance. But it is going to now be the burn into blue, trying to clear Hazel out. She's going to disappear relatively quickly, provided there is only a minute left of play here. 2 Candelas burned in the making of this movie, and it is actually going to be the team blind as well for time for 5. But Sav's going to retake point all the way down blue. Hazel close, though. Playing for it, the Candela to come out. She's going to be able to get away to the table inside of server, but can she find any kills? Yes, she can. That's 1. Can she find another? The crossfire there, Panda, 40 seconds. The shotgun for 2. Make it a 3rd. The nade, though. Going to force her up the stairs. Kill Serenity. Hazel taken down. 30 seconds in play, and it's all up to Crips team.
What is going on here? I mean, they picked Bank. Warriors wanted this map, and now they are looking maybe just lost. Completely lost. To push on through, KT does not expect Cass to be in the site behind the chassis. It's 4 on the fly for Vertex.
Vertex are showing that Bank is insane on their end of the ball. They are going off, I think is the best way to put it currently on Bank. I mean, even in saying that, nothing is yet to stop Serenity still after 5 rounds of play. The Warriors just keep, unfortunately, finding themselves at the end of the short straw. I mean, Hazel there, the boomstick, 2 kills, the SMG for 1. No drones, though. This is the difference I've noticed for Warriors. Their live droning in this map has been pretty much non-existent compared to what we saw from them on Clubhouse. Whether or not that is something that they do not crack as much on this map compared to Clubhouse, or maybe they just don't think they need to rely on the information of the drones, because obviously with Jackal in play, or at least Jackal was in play, they thought they could rely on that utility. But in saying this, Vertex, not only on their roams have been dealing damage, but even the players on site have been just absolutely cleaning pretty much anything up that comes their way. Serenity, 4K at the top of main stairs in 2v5. Countless other roams, countless other kills. Hazel with 3 in server. I mean, so many things have been going right for Vertex, and Warriors have not found any type of compensation for that at all. Period.
4 in a row. And the way things have been going, I would not be surprised at all if we get 5. Honestly, I'm expecting it to be somewhere along the lines of a 5-1 half. just the way things have been going for Warriors in the attack, it's just an absolute defensive wash from Vertex so far. There are 7 kills in 4 rounds played for the Warriors.
Yeah, it's not great, especially when you look at the other side of the scorecard for Vertex. But it's Warriors are going to have to do something, Panda. There's going to have to be some kind of change, some kind of adaptation made by them, because without that, it's going to be a 5-1, 6-0 even possible half here for Vertex if they just keep up the absolute heater of a map that we've seen so far from them on Bank, because they can keep this level up. They're going to quite easily walk away with a 6-0, I think, here.
Oh, dear. We've seen them in this position before. Serenity was the one to step up and deny. Serenity is 9-0 here in the 5th round. How absurd is that?
No, Panda. I really couldn't tell you. Serenity has just been allowed to pretty much do whatever she pleases. The Zoph charge there, time to fly, unfortunately connecting on herself more than where she was trying to get it over to. Which is only going to do a little bit of damage at the end of the day, not too much. Recoverable with the adrenal surges here from Crypt's team. And provided that there are still 2 left, pretty much backs up. Time to buy health to full. Only 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and not a whole lot really achieved here for Warriors. Obviously, they do have some control on the main windows, but it doesn't really give them too much, especially when the spread of players from Vertex is so heavy towards that lone office, towards the small sort of janitor office as well. Serenity could be taking her first death here, but no, Buddha's there to cover. Groups T will take down Serenity, though, so that's the first death. 45 seconds, Panda, and Warriors, they're going to go in for the execute.
That's a shoulder.
You see
That's a shoulder, and a head to follow. Sav will take down Buddha. Pipo gets aggressive on the swing. The rappel there, the long angle. This time it is cast to find Sav's head through that opening. It's all starting to, again, fall apart here. Warriors on the plant. KT looking to hold it down with the diffuser. Pipo, does she have an opportunity to deny? From below, no, not to be either. And it will be a successful plant for the Warriors for the first time in what feels like forever. Time switches. It is now in their favor. Vertex are the ones that have to push up and go for the deny and pick these kills ever so gently, because otherwise they lose out in a pretty significant way. I mean, honestly, this is what we were expecting. So that 5-1 territory, potentially even 4-2. KT is just prone. Right-hand side of the door. Cass is good for 1. Double kill, but unfortunately, Pipo 4 was not expecting the, infamous KT prone behind the door play. Cass for a 3rd. They know exactly where she is, but unfortunately, there are no angles. It's their own reinforcement that's undone them, Proto.
Yeah, and even then, the kill's not about Grips T to take Cass down. The Warriors finally going to be able to find some consolidation, but at this point, the damage has been dealt by Vertex. Yes, 1 round is a great way to start yourselves off to find the 4-2 for the split, but going into the defense, especially with Vertex doing as well as they are, things are going to be difficult, because the best that they can hope for here is a 4-2. With Staff Room open area being the next point of call, this was a site that was really easy for Vertex, or at least seemed like it was really easy. All they really did was sort of just sit and wait. The Warriors kind of tired themselves out on the top floor. So hopefully they learn their lesson and change something up here when attacking this bomb site. But at the end of the day, Vertex, if they find the 5-1, we could definitely be on for 3 maps here.
Well, look, I think I've come to the realization, KT again struggling with the drone game, but Proto, the options were Bank, Theme Park, Border, and Villa when it came to Warriors' chance to pick a map, as Oregon, Chalet, Skyscraper, and Cafe had all been banned out. So, I mean, best of a bad situation, potentially?
Yeah, something like that, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's a bit rough, but yeah, definitely the best of a bad situation. Bank not the worst in that pool, but definitely not the best. In saying that, though, it depends what the Warriors have been practicing over recent. Maybe they're not necessarily comfortable on those maps. Maybe they're not necessarily happy with how they are strategy-wise on those maps. Either way, Bank is the choice. We're here now, and looking to get some work done on this last attacking round, getting in quickly upstairs as they did in the last. making their way upstairs. Sav on the rappel. And yeah, not really too much contention for Vertex here. So again, it's going to be relatively easy for them to just rappel on in and start using this vertical.
Yeah, given some free real estate here. Time for Pi and KT. Neither of them killed by Sav on that rappel. I think she learned her lesson after that first round. Serenity the first to take some punishment. Shots connecting, but you look at all the angles and Time for Pi says, yeah, Claymore, that'll do it, right?
Yeah, that'll sort the issue out. It's like a band-aid on
A decapitated leg.
Yeah, I was going to say after stepping on
amputation,
something
yeah.
you shouldn't step on. Yeah, it's hey, you'll be all right. Just put this on, get back in there, champ. And in saying that, Nitro is going to be used for Hazel as well as the rest of the magazine of the Roni. A lot of damage dealt, no kill unfortunately here for the Warriors, but neither for Vertex. Nothing traded back so far other than bullets. And in saying that, a minute 30 left. Warriors have definitely made some better time on attacking this bomb site. But now the question is how are they going to execute? Last time it didn't work out too well for them. Soy now to find Serenity as well. That is great. Finding that opening pick is going to make their life a whole lot easier executing onto this site, especially if they want to go for kitchen. But again, we don't know. We didn't get to see a proper execute from them last time. The question will now be, can they get to that position?
Oh, Soy almost cops some shots from below in Archives. Nitro out. Oh, does she spot it? She spots the hip. That could be a huge pick. Looking for the angle onto Buddha, and the pings are there. Unfortunately, not enough time for them to worry about it too heavily. Is going to just pull out of the angle, pre-post to the wall. Again, none connecting, but they have the full force of the Warriors to bear. They can get all players in. Buddha does fall, finally, courtesy of KT, finding the long angle through from Tellers, but the answer comes back courtesy of Hazel. So they are trading these kills back for the moment. And Vertex, going to the final 30, they just have to hold on a little bit longer.
20 seconds left. Soy to find Buddha. So things now swing in favor of the Warriors very slightly, but the execute needs to come out. They have to get the bomb into the bomb site. Soy finds another one, taking down Hazel, and now a 2 versus 4. The Elder of Peepo and Cass alive. Peepo to find one onto Soy. Not two, though. Time for Pi's there on the cross. Trying to deny the diffuser with the red ping. Runs out of bullets, and Time for Pi for a second for the super shorty, but it wasn't enough.
How many people do you need shooting the same target to get the kill? Because there were almost 3 guns trained on it in the corner. But a 4-2 half for the Warriors. 2 is workable.
Very workable. It's not the best turnout. Definitely not the worst. But a great start for Vertex. Going on to the attack. Obviously, Warriors on the defense now are going to have life that little bit easier, but given how this has been so far for them, probably not the best that they could have sort of come to in terms of the round deficit here, but at the end of the day, Vertex, they're going to be very happy with the score that they're currently sitting on, especially going into the attack now. They at least have a couple of rounds of buffer room to make some mistakes and learn, and sort of just to feel the Warriors out. But they're going to go straight to open area here, Panda. Again, tertiary bomb site picked first.
Yeah. I'm intrigued about what their priority is here. They've got the Frost and the Castle in place. So the Castle, obviously, is just going to be that buffer, that utility waste. But the Frost, I mean, I can understand it here at open area. I really rate it. But it's honestly the biggest... I mean, we've seen both teams incredibly even at map 1. We're now going into the second map being Bank, which has been Vertex's domain so far. But is it a case of this is just a defender-sided map, or it's just a map that plays better for Vertex in the situation?
Yeah, it's difficult, really, to say. I mean, I don't know, Panda, at this point. It's been so back and forth between these two teams that it doesn't really matter what favour it seems that a map has. It just sort of goes with whoever is more comfortable on it at the time, I guess. And for Warriors, first map it's been them, but for Bank, on Warriors map pick, it definitely seems to be Vertex in the driving seat, as opposed to what the Warriors might have been hoping for. But Vertex now trying to clear this top floor out. They've got the repels, they have some players for crossfires to try and hold the retreat of the Warriors roamers, but a minute has been spent. No one is yet to really start aggressing on this information, except I believe for maybe one player. No one actually has progressed into the building. It will be Cass to lead the charge, though, rappelling on in. However, Warriors, they're just wasting time. They're going to leave, walk away, shoot some drones, and they're gone.
Yeah, don't want to overcommit. Soy finds the perfect pick to kick this round off for the Warriors. No more Finca, no more Hazel, no more LMG.
Yeah, not great. Not a good pick to lose, especially for Vertex so far. They've been having a super good game, and then to lose the Thinker early on is not the greatest of picks to lose. But now the verticality is going to come out here for Vertex. They're going to be able to play some of those upstairs angles to try and find where the Warriors are located. But they haven't extended out into Teller's archives as much as Vertex did. They don't have those players lingering around in the area. They don't have that presence. So it is going to be available for Vertex to take here. But the Warriors, they also have plenty of time to sort of play crossfires inside of the site to lock that area down for the same amount of time.
I mean, that's what so far this has started perfectly for the Warriors. They are going to actually find a follow-up kill, and things just get better. Oh, almost perfectly again. Peepo lining up the angles. Unfortunately, this time it's going to be Serenity who has to come in and save it. Time by falls 10-2 on this Ash right now, reverting back to the true main, but it's all just rotation games. The Warriors, the fluidity of this defense is scary.
Yeah, constant movement's going to be a huge thing for them, but just walking past the player inside of Tellers, Soy could be graced with this kill. The presence now given away, but through the wall, it's actually going to be 2 for the Zofia. Aussie will find one on the cast, but the side is now being pressured. It's going to have to be Castle to win this fight. They have to get the bomb down. Peepo needs to bring the diffuser over. Indeed, she will. Now has to be Soy to clutch things out. She has the red pings. Can she find the kills? But through the wall, no damage has been dealt at all to Serenity. It's now a post plant. The red ping's still available here on the information, but Soy can find nothing. 40 seconds remain now for Soy to find 2 players, both low HP, but the post plant is going to be one of the hardest things for the retake here to find both of these kills.
We could see one below, one in the site. The impact would be enough to finish off the kill. If she chucks it into the back corner, it could be huge. Spots the hit, but no! Serenity is good for the headshot. And Proto, that is far from ideal.
Especially if you're a Warriors fan. Currently, Vertex sitting 5 rounds secured on the board to the Warriors 2. It's going to be 3 rounds before they even see an equalize here. On their map pick, nonetheless, Panda, it has been an absolute ride from first map to here. But this now starts to become even scarier because the possibility, not only of us going to a 3rd map, but the Warriors losing their undefeated streak starts to become more of a possibility here as Vertex claw these rounds away. It's not looking good, but it's definitely not over yet.
This year, yeah, 5-2. I mean, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what the situation would have been like if we'd gone to a theme park or a border or something else. It's feeling more and more like the Warriors were sort of backed into this corner with their map pick, and that they had ideally wanted to go somewhere else.
They might have, but it's the Warriors. I mean, we saw it from them on Club. We saw them reattempt bomb sites that they were losing. Most of the time on the second attempt, they'd walk away with the victory. But sometimes, like for downstairs, or was it CC Cash? Either way, they couldn't quite find it, so they forfeited it, went somewhere else. This is going to be their second iteration of the site downstairs. Possibility for them here to take it. Obviously, it's a 50-50. But, in saying this, Vertex being 5-2, really good attack from them in that previous round. Came down to the 2v2. Yes, it was the post plan as well. Obviously forcing the gunfight based on time constraints. But, still really well to get that bomb down and play for that kill. So, I mean, Vertex are looking really good to sort of just keep up that streak. I mean, they have the momentum. They might as well just play off it, right?
That's what you'd think. That's what one would assume. But, I mean, momentum has been a non-factor, it feels like, for the most part for the Warriors. They no matter how much of it they generate, They just can't seem to close it out. Nitro is going to be thrown to pop that wall of the CEO, but it's Soy tucked into this corner and long desk to find an angle, but no, Cass, despite being insanely low, is going to win that gunfight out. That is heartbreaking.
It's not great. It is really heartbreaking for the Warriors losing that kill. Cass has taken a lot of damage, but Soy, the one to fall in the end. Warriors just, again, cannot catch a break. Cannot catch anything at all here in terms of trying to rectify the issue that is their dwindling round count. But they do still have very capable hands left at the wheel here. There is still possibility and hope for them. They do still have some great positions to play off as well. But as we say that, Vertex slowly start to dismantle this site piece by piece and make their way towards their execute, which we already know, if allowed to go, has already worked once.
Oh dear. I mean, they've best of all, bad situation. At least they've still got the Echo. But whether or not that Echo and the Yokai will be successful is a completely different story. So many different positions to now worry about. Vertex, the fact that they kept Cass alive has made this all the worse for the Warriors. And Aussie will fall. Buddha on the 0 will find that kill with the MP7. 35 seconds. I mean, this is just phenomenal stuff right now from Vertex. They're in a great spot.
It's been completely, different to what we were expecting. Cripsty will take down Buddha, so some compensation here. With her finding a second on a Peepo as well very quickly, things start to look better for Vertex every given moment. The flank as well from Time for Pi will spot that player vaulting over into square, but the damage been dealt by Hazel, make it 2. Sav now all alone. Sorry, no, Time for Pi all alone. We'll find one for Hazel for 3. Vertex is there on match point. The Warriors map picked Panda. We're about to trade maps if Warriors don't do something drastic.
I mean, it's appropriate that we are looking to go the full distance here in the grand finals. Of course, we were always going to look to head towards Villa and that decider. It's just the way things should go. But basement CCTV lockers on the cards. Warriors need 4 rounds in a row for OT.
It's not completely out of the question, but even the fact that it is what we're saying right now is kind of insane, given that it's the Warriors map pick, given that they were so confident coming into this. I mean, yes, 7-4 against RDC, they won it, but there is very clear evidence here in how Vertex are playing. They have done their homework, they know exactly what's happening, and they are just abusing the fact that they know exactly how to dismantle majority of what the Warriors are bringing pretty much round to round. I mean, the Warriors have only found 2 Panda on attack. They are yet to win a single defense here on Bank. I mean, for Vertex, that is just a phenomenal feat. Not only it being the Warriors, but to leave them undefeated on their attacking side is insane. On the Warriors map pick nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, the Warriors are looking a bit cooked at the moment. Some would say baked even. Pasta baked, potentially. But right
some
now...
pasta baked may have been evident.
May even be proto-baked right now. But
possibly.
I mean, Vertex, they've got room. They've got 4 rounds to work with before we even contemplate overtime. The Warriors, I mean, do you just go next at this point?
Yeah, probably save the mental, get everything up, ready for the next map, and just sort of send it on. Would probably be the smart choice here for Warriors. Obviously, it's not something you want to admit, but it's a rush on into Vault. 3 players drop on down. Aussie none the wiser that they've just made their way down. It is going to be a game of rotates. Time for Pi there to collect on the Cass. It is going to be a stacking kill for Buddha, but Peepo to find Sav as well. Very quickly, the Warriors' numbers start to dwindle again. Buddha to go down from Soy. So the site is holding strong, but the rotate from Hazel caught out. Time for Pi to go down, and it is going to be Soy for another. 2 for 2. It's trades back and forth, Panda. Aussie has made it into the elevator, but Soy for 3. Peepo now the last alive on an almost failed rush attempt, depending on whether or not she can clutch this for Vertex. 2 versus 1 is definitely doable.
Is it HSP time? That's the question. Do we get the full holy smokes Peepo experience here in the Vault? There is 95 seconds, though, to work with. So she has the opportunity. Aussie prone again. Just inside Vault lobby. Stands up and will get the kill regardless. But that was a very near-miss situation.
A nail biter. A nail biter at best, Panda. Warriors hold on by the skin of their teeth. A great rush from Vertex. They had the trades there for the rotates, but I'm gonna be honest. I got lost in the sauce a little bit. There were that many kills going back and forth between these two teams.
Lost in the pasta sauce.
Lost in the pasta sauce of the pasta bake. But I mean, really well done by the Warriors. Well read into. The calls seemed to be there. The information was relayed, obviously, by the castle player upstairs. So they had the ability to play off of that information. So it wasn't as shocking as maybe they would have thought. But really good rotates as well. As soon as they realized that that's what was going on, we just saw players coming back to the site, rotating around, dropping in the hatches, just trying to get those kills, trying to cut them off. They did exactly that. Yes, it came down to the 1v2, very, very close, but the way that they played it out in the end, still ultimately really good from them and managed to finish off. That is a sick bulletproof camera there, by the way, from Aussie. I didn't even know you could get up there.
Magic.
Yeah, levitation or something. But yeah, Warriors, they bring themselves one round closer to finding at least OT, but Vertex still hold that match point advantage.
Imagine what a world it would be if you could stand on top of a yokai drone and levitate. No, that would be that would be terrifying.
It's like C4 RCXDs from Black Ops 1. That would be scary.
I mean, you used to be able to do it with drones. Like, why not? Why not Mozzie? He's light enough, surely. Just stand him on top of the yokai and send him flying into the roof. That'd be a spawn peak worth watching. But right now, what's worth watching is another Warriors defense here. They need 3 to take us to overtime and deny open area. And, well, this one could be a bit dicey.
Oh, Panda, it's going to be something at the end of the day. Whether it's dicey, that's not great. Time for Pi taking a lot of team damage there on, I believe, a shotgun rotate, which is unfortunate, but she's still alive and well. The Nitro possibly pre-placed here from Time for Pi. Not too sure if it's been pre-placed or used to make a rotate or something. I'm not too sure. I guess we'll find out later in the round, but yeah, it's a bit of a slower start again here for Vertex. No, there you go. Pre-placed Nitro, I think. It's going to be with the Echo Drone. There you go. Time for Pi to collect 1. Could have had 2, but it doesn't matter. 1 is going to be taken all the same. It's going to cost them an Echo Drone in the process, but I reckon they're probably going to be pretty happy with the trade.
Yeah, a sledge for a yokai drone, especially on this site. You take that any day of the week. There is, unfortunately, no more Nitros, though, so they are going to have to hope that that is going to be enough to set them up for this round. Cass out of the equation, no more nades as well, so that is a decent amount of that utility clear now missing as well.
Being the sledge too, that's a huge L for Vertex, but I don't know whether or not it affects them. We will find out shortly. Half the round has been spent, no frags back for them in terms of compensation. They are going to be able to get the open hatch open here as well. And that's going to allow them, obviously, to play for some more of that information into the site. They do have some soft breach still available, as well as the hard breach charge for the hatch. So they're going to be able to open that up and play to clear out this office. But with 30 seconds left, Panda, sorry, a minute left. Don't know where I got 30 seconds from. They still have plenty of time to open up all this verticality and play for at least a couple more picks before they go for the drop.
Yeah, I mean, flexibility is there. But whether or not that
crossfires.
Unfortunately, it's whether or not Warriors will let them have even an inch is the question. Serenity sniffing out this possibility, someone down towards server, but it's not the case whatsoever. And that wall will be opened up. The impact trick is good, and there is no high breach remaining. They will lose Soy, but now it's a force through the double doors into the cafeteria. This is not the ideal situation for Vertex. If they have the crossfires, if they have the angles, this could be very, very dangerous. The secondary hard breach gadget out from Buddha, but Serenity's good for 1, Buddha's good for 2. This is now, all of a sudden, very, very dicey. The Warriors have to go big. Serenity falls. Is there anything to deny? Hazel there pushing in. And it's just going to be an absolute sweep. Vertex win bank. We are going to Villa.
I eat my words. Warriors may have been confident going into it, but Vertex were there and a whole lot more confident. Warriors might have won at 7-4 against RDC, but Vertex are going to take it out 7-3 against the Warriors. As their second map dropped all season, Panda, what has happened? We
Well-
have seen something baffling.
Well. I mean, now it's a case of, will this be the first match dropped by the Warriors? A map is fine, but it is a best of 3. So they have one more opportunity. The slate is wiped clean. We are going back to the beginning. No one has an advantage. Actually, no, technically that's not true. Vertex, with the better round differential, I believe, will have the pick of sides to start off with. But
Possibly,
on Villa,
yeah, round difference.
I mean, Villa is just a defender-sided affair.
Yeah, 100%. Villa, from day dot, has been defender-sided map. And given that Vertex are going to have that advantage, obviously with round differential, they get to pick what they want to start on. Defense, I'd imagine, will be the aim of their game. And if they can find a half like they had on their defense, it's going to be very scary waters for Warriors fans. They've been undefeated so far for 2 seasons, only dropping, I think, a total of 3 maps overall across said 2 seasons. And here we are, possibly 1 map away from seeing that end. Vertex have come, I think, as close as it gets, Panda, to putting a dent in the Warriors streak.
Well, we go to the break now. When we come back, we find out whether it's the Warriors holding down and defending their title, or if we crown a new champion here in the XP Esports Women's League. When we come back after the break, we jump on into Villa to find out the final result. We'll see you soon.
Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now.
Everybody
talk.
He's just watching.
I just get it done. Everybody talk. I just get it done.
Well, 2 maps through, and each team trades their opponent's map picks out. Proto, we're coming in. It is the last map of the season. Nothing further from here. It can only go to this. We go into Villa. I mean, from what we've seen, who do you reckon? Who does this favour?
I've got no clue anymore. Everything I have notes-wise, everything I have watching this out, it's gone. I don't have it anymore. It's essentially useless. I mean, to go from an 8-6 max OT for Warriors, arguably the most stressful game they've had this season in terms of the amount of rounds played, then to go onto their map pick and lose it 7-3. I mean, that's not like an 8-6, an 8-7, a 7-5. That is a 7-3 to Vertex. Now we go to map number 3. Vertex obviously have the benefit of picking what side they want to be. From the graphic, we can see that they've picked attack, interestingly enough, on the defender side of map. So Warriors, they have that to crutch on a little bit at the start, but I don't actually think it means too much. I think it's just going to be another 50-50 affair.
It's going to come circles, though, because going into the second half, basically the first half, anything Vertex can get, that's great. That's awesome. That's just icing on the cake. And then the real work begins in the second half. They go into the defense. They go into the favored side. They look to hunker down and play their game. I mean, Warriors fans, you got to be a little bit concerned.
On the edge of your seat right now, I think is definitely where we're going to be poised, because this map, out of all 3, is going to be the most nail-biter. I think that this is going to be probably the closest match we've seen from not only both of these teams tonight, but just this season period. There's so much on the line. First place, second place. There's a big difference there in terms of what these teams walk away with. Not only the bragging rights, but on top of that, this is the decider whether or not the Warriors go 2 seasons completely undefeated, or are Vertex going to be the name that knocks them off that pedestal finally after so long. There is a lot at stake here, not only the prize money, but the reputation to uphold for Warriors in terms of appearances on game day.
Yeah, bragging rights as well. It's one of those things that you're probably not going to live down off season. Look, you were up a map and then you lost. You got reverse swept out by Vertex, which is that's something to walk away with at a grand final. It would make for a great show too. But I mean, Villa, let's break it down a little bit. Proto, you're coming into this map. What is it? What is it that you need to lock down, get perfect on this map to walk away with the win?
For the defense, it's going to be the roam game. Extensions are going to be key. Obviously, they're going to be wanting to look to extend their holds out. They're going to be wanting to not only extend them out, but know when to leave them as well. It's going to have to be a huge thing for the roam game. Having one dedicated deep roamer as well is going to be a big thing. And then on the attacking side, obviously, clearing said things. But not only that, it's going to be finding holes in the defense. Can we just walk into the site? We saw Vertex attempt it there on bank a couple of times. Can we just rush? Can we put a player just, bottom red stairs from the basement, which is a pretty largely uncontested area if we do keep that in mind on Villa. We don't really see too many players sort of actively down in the basement. There's no bomb site down there. There's no real anything down there other than rotate. So if you can utilize that as a defensive player or even utilize it as an attacking player to find those rotates, to find those opening kills from the middle of the stairs, up the top of the stairs, knock is going to be something pretty big here if used correctly, I think, for both teams, provided we see her used. Other than that, it is just going to be winning your ones. It's going to be a big thing for both of these teams specifically because they both have really good players. They both have girls that can win those gunfights without any real flinch. That's going to be the big issue. Don't feed into the beast too much. We've seen it a couple of times. Serenity been walking away with way too many kills that they shouldn't have been getting just because they've been playing perfectly. Live droning, awesome positioning, and it's paying off. So that's probably the biggest point that both of these teams are going to have to work for going into this because Villa, it's very strategy heavy, but that's why it's one of the most competitively played maps.
Yeah, done to death, some would argue. But, look, we're going there. We've got to stick it out, regardless of how we truly feel about the map, of course. But, Villa, from what you've seen, is there either team that would stand out as the favourite coming to this, given their play styles on Clubhouse and Bank?
Just for tonight, looking at what we've seen, given that Warriors had a bit of a rough bank where that map heavily favours their playstyle. Villa is a very similar map like that. A wide, expansive open area. You have a lot of ability to play for that aggression, but you also have a really good ability to play super passively. We haven't seen that from them tonight. Their aggression, while yes being evident in a couple of times, it hasn't been as prominent as it usually is. So Vertex have been able to sort of clean that up. If I had to pick based on tonight's showings, I think I might have to lean towards Team Vertex here because they've been doing really well so far. And if they can keep that up, then,
No, look, yeah, you got it in one. What we're going to do now, though, is going to throw it to a break. Unfortunately, Sam's having some minor issues yet to restart a PC. So when we get back into it, we'll jump into Villa and get the map underway. We'll see you back soon.
We know that for each second in esports, you are dedicated to winning. We share the same spirit with you, focusing on every detail in order to achieve perfection. Over a decade, XL Series has evolved alongside with gamers.
Nice, quick, easy, that's the way you love it. Let's get on into Villa. Operator bands coming through. What are you expecting? Thatcher, probably something like a Jackal or a Nomad, Mira and Valkyrie?
Yeah, probably. There's not really much else to it, is there? It's pretty much as good as it gets in terms of the bands. Thatcher, Flores. Flores to go first, obviously. Thatcher possibly allowed to stay in. Jackal, I don't know. You didn't see too much play in the last map when he was allowed up. So, if any play at all, even, actually. So, whether or not he stays or goes is a big question. But yeah, Mira, Valk, probably just, again, keeping things relatively straightforward. Thatcher's going to go. So, yeah, pretty sure Mira, Valk are going to be the ones to follow because Cade, yeah, he's good on this map, but he's not as prominent as on Bank, per se. So, yeah, again, very vanilla band phase.
Well, there you go. Valkyrie, understandable. Mira, it's left up to the Warriors, which they could potentially bring into the fold. But, Cade is going to be available, which makes things harder. There's the likes of the trap operators as well that could come into play on a map like Villa. How dangerous has a can been on this map with those deep EDDs placed around the map. I just think there's a lot of potential.
Definitely potential. It's we say that there's potential for both in this instance, Panda. Obviously, starting on the defense, Warriors, as I mentioned, they're going to have a lot of ability to play a very fluid, aggressive style. But Vertex already showing tonight that they have been on the doorstep, ready to go, and Warriors, first of all, couldn't deal with it on bank at all. Struggled on Clubhouse, but just straight up could not deal with it on bank at all. So whether or not that's the case again here going forward into Villa is a big question, because while yes, they might have the ease of starting on defense, yes, they might have that benefit. Vertex already teasing the jackal here from Hazel, already showing on bank that they are surgical in how they clear, and they somewhat have the Warriors' number. They know where they're playing. They've done their homework. They are ready and waiting for all of these rotates, all of these positions. They know what they want to do. They know how they want to do it, and they're doing it in a timely manner. Warriors need to be very scared going into this.
Yeah, I mean, you just Vertex doubling down on the flank watch. They that plus the IQ. I mean, they just want the amount of information they're going to be presented with once the round is well and truly underway is kind of scary. Like that, just there is no one that is going to be safe on the side of the Warriors in this defense.
No, they are going to have to be very, very careful going into this, because not only, as we've already mentioned, is their undefeated streak at stake here, but first place is up for stake, and they are going to have to fight for it, because as you've said, this is it. There are no double takes. There is nothing else after this. The final map for Women's League Season 7. This is it. Now, here we go. Mention it. Hazel can hear us. Straight downstairs. This is perfect for Vertex, and exactly what they need to be doing. Try for an early pick. Hazel can hear the player above her. All she needs to do now is act on this, and it's going to be an easy kill for Vertex here. But maybe Warriors are ready for it.
Time for Pi. We'll find serenity though, and we'll halt the aggression, the bloodthirsty murder streak before it can even get underway. Minute Burton, you can look at that. Soy and Hazel in close proximity. That could end badly if Hazel isn't quite aware. And oh no, the lurk through. Soy might just, oh my god. Close, siege timing at its finest.
It's a shame, because Hazel's literally been watching that for the whole round. Whoa, what a shot onto Aussie. It's going to hit that one. Can't quite find the other player, but there is one more on the same floor here for Hazel. It is going to be the roaming Malusi of Sav, who is actually going to choose to pass up on the fight, go straight back upstairs. And yeah, very quickly, it's going to even back out, but slow down as well. But look at this, the counter flank from the bottom floor. Time for Pi coming up. He's going to hit the shots to start with. The Nitro to deny, but the player's down. Hazel is going to be able to be res with the Finker boost, though. And unfortunately, it's not going to be a kill, but it has drawn out that surge utility. So a good flank, but unfortunately no kill.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to translate quite the way they want it to, but it's a start. They could potentially confirm the frag later on, given that there's only one nano boost, but time for Pi down deep in the basement on that heavy roam. I mean, you talk about a late round pinch, that could be one to completely gut Vertex's push.
100%, only 50 left as well. They're going to have to try and execute into the site, clear these ADSs as well as getting rid of this shield. They are going to be able to do it with Gone 6. Buddha also to find Soy here, so the Warriors' numbers begin to dwindle. Time for Pi, though, still on this deep flank. Could prove to be the linchpin in Vertex's attack, coming back up the red stairs now. Whether or not a Nomad has been employed by Buddha, we do see her using that utility right now, so time for Pi might be cut off by this, but we hear all the players on landing. It's going to be a run into the site. 20 seconds, Panther.
Another toxic canister out. Is it going to be enough to deny the push? I think they've mispositioned it there. That is truly unfortunate.
15 seconds
KT
remaining.
has one remaining. She needs to land in the perfect spot to swing in. Hazel will fall just in behind the vault door. KT there needs to get it down, but no! She will fall. The ensuing gunfight. Peepo's on the plant. They need to deny it. They will. 3 seconds remaining. Cass has to get on the diffuse plant. She will. No time remaining. Time for Pi. You need to get in. Spots the head. Oh, okay. Next time, just kill them, I think, Pi.
Yeah, given the stakes that we're here for, Probably just want a mouse won that one. But, I mean, it was there. The kill came out. The round was won. Warriors off of a bit of a shaky ending there. Actually came out on top and did really well in doing so. Killing the planter, yes. Unfortunately, I did think we caught that on stream a little bit. The missed shot smoke there from KT, which is a shame, but it happens to the best of us. The shotgun sometimes isn't as reliable as we'd hope. But the Warriors walk away with round 1. So, there's that. They start off a lot better than they did on Bank, and here they are now breaking that streak in terms of not losing 4 rounds in a row. They're going to go upstairs again, not going down to the kitchen. It's going to be stat trophy here at Panda. A bit of a rocky start, but still a round on the board.
Horizontal transition. Understandable. I mean, it is a pretty stock standard secondary at the moment, but I think those rounds, that last round, too close for comfort. That was not ideal for the Warriors. They want to be winning it a little bit more succinctly next time.
They're going to need a bit more dominance in the rounds, but look, winning the 1v1 there on time, really well done. They had everything locked down, and it was really well played out by them to the last player on the board. Now, Vertex, pretty decent clear. They had everything set up there to walk in and get that plant down. However, the one fault they made was not clearing out Study, and ultimately allowing that player to sort of sit in there and do whatever they wanted was pretty much the big issue for them. Now, it is going to be a south over of all 5 players from Vertex here, clearing out the Study side, but interestingly enough, from Warriors, no extension, no presence, no nothing here on the Study bar side, and that's going to allow Vertex to just walk in pretty much wherever they want. They do have Soy downstairs for that Nitro to deny, but in saying that, no real contestant over at all on the south side of the map.
Yeah, but once again, the fact that they're just being allowed to take this ground is, I mean, Hayes was just in the side. Okay, never mind.
Was.
Like, okay, it's just a pre-wander, nice easy stroll, and then KT shotgun dead. Boom.
Hello. How are you doing? Welcome to my bomb site. I mean, I said this though, Panda, didn't I? Like, if they could just walk into the site, it would probably work out well for them. In saying that, it didn't. So, unfortunate. Maybe don't take the advice so literally next time. The wall electrified, though, is going to make Peepo's jobs a little bit harder, so they're going to have to spend some utility and time clearing that out, with Serenity on the IQ, not downstairs, and with catching her teammate. There's time for Pystone's booter across landing. That's a good start, a great start even here for the Warriors. But the Nitros downstairs are starting to dwindle. Time for Pie using hers. Obviously now Soy and Sav, the only 2 players with explosive ordnance left. But that's a great kill to find. Cast to find Aussie. Sav will take down Serenity though. So the trades are evident here for both teams. Panda with the shotgun. Crips T wants to get aggressive. Does a lot of damage to Cass, but doesn't find the kill.
Yeah, when she has the favourable angle, that was going to be a dangerous one at the best times. Peepo still has the diffuser, but is in master bedroom. The shots from below are going to give away the game from Sav. So Cass knows that there is some sort of vert presence below. That's the last nano boost out, and Cass not looking the healthiest, especially now that she's dead. It's Peepo alone, overstimmed, has to find some big kills, but Sav on the rotate will book Warriors their second. This could be an even quicker map than the first 2.
Yeah, Warriors have definitely switched up gears. Looking a lot cleaner, a lot more concise than they were on Bank. Again, begs the question why the Bank pick, but I guess it doesn't matter. We're here on Villa. They're looking really good 2 rounds into it. The question is, can Warrior catch up? Can Vertex catch up to the Warriors, is what I was trying to say. Down 2 rounds. I mean, not the end of the world, but when we saw Vertex walk away with a 4-0 lead, it was pretty much telling of how the rest of that map was going to play out. So the Warriors, provided they can do the same, could be on, as you said, for a quicker match than the last, especially due to the fact that they are playing more of that aggressive fluid style that we've seen from them, and it is paying off for them in the utmost at this point.
Indeed it is. Right now, the 3rd round, the Warriors would do absolute bits, and well, we have the Cap Can finally in play, Proto. And I'm excited for it. The Trap Operator paired with the Vulcan packs from Sav, paired with the Banshees. This is a pretty dangerous combo. This could get quite deadly.
There's so much denial available for Warriors here as well. 4 Nitro cells, Blue Panda. With the Pulse, obviously, when you're playing the Pulse, you want to have as much of that explosive utility as you can on hand. But yeah, time for Pi on the Pulse. We've already seen her do amazing things with that operator at the moment. So no real surprise. Soy getting a little bit cheeky here with the spawn peak. Not going to be greeted with any heads, though, due to the fact that no one has spawned on that east side. It is going to be a hard south over again. Wait, no, sorry. They have spawned over there, but they haven't run up the stairs. They have just gone straight up towards the master balcony. We do have 2 players down below as well, Buddha and the IQ. Soy has possibly not heard this, which is interesting because it's going to allow Serenity to walk all the way up. It doesn't matter. Soy with the Cap-Can Trap and Aussie going to find the first 2 picks, and Vertex not looking great. Keep losing these opening kills.
Soy's
It's just a runaround.
Soy heard it. She was like, "Yeah, nah, cool. And there's, I know exactly where those EDDs are. Well, I don't need to be here. I'm going to get back to the site."
Attackers have recovered their
And
defuse.
yeah, Cap-Can. It does work, Proto.
It does. It does. I mean, also of highlight here, we said about using these catacombs to rotate around. We saw Aussie using them to rotate around. Unfortunately, Serenity not quite there to collect, which is a shame. But the 3 remaining players of Vertex are going to group up on the red stairs. It doesn't matter. Sav's there to greet them. We'll find the first. Can she make it 2? Yes, she can. Serenity go down as well. Make it a 3rd. No, Hazel is going to walk down into red. Try to test the site door, but it's 3 on the red stairs. And Warriors with a flawless round in the hands of Sav on the Goyo are looking a whole lot sharper on Villa.
Good soup. It's
Good soup.
3 rounds on the fly. Warriors, like, have they just been stringing us along this entire time? Like, we won
guys.
Hey, we'll give them back. Charity is tax deductible after all. And now they head to Villa, and it's like, all right, 7-0. Let's get this done.
Content, I think, is the word we're looking for, Panda. Makes for a good stream, though, right? Always a good storyboard. Guys, their undefeated is on the line. Whatever will happen. Bang, 7-0. Oh, okay. Well, cool. We can't say that, though, because Vertex have already shown that they are a team that can take it to the Warriors, and in pretty significant fashion as well. I mean, it's, again, a 7-3 on their map pick is nothing to scoff at. But here we are 3 rounds in, and Vertex are arguably sort of yet to show up to the game. They got pretty close on round 1, but round 2 and 3 have just been undeniably Warriors. And here we are going into round 4. It is going to be a flawless site rotation back to AVG. So they're going to be pretty happy with how they've gone in this first rotation of sites. But in saying so, Vertex, they are yet to sort of switch anything up, Panda. They haven't made too many drastic changes. They've dropped the Jackal. That's pretty much it. I mean, do they really need to be making a change here, possibly operator-wise, to allow them to get in? I mean, maybe?
I mean, Time for Pi is 5-0-1. Sav is 7-1. I mean, it's just numbers. Numbers across the board. I mean, baffled. I'm baffled. I'm lost. I'm confused. We are lost in the sauce of the pasta bake.
Pasta bake sauce, yeah.
Lost in the proto bake, swimming in the panda soup.
Yeah, it's it do be like that sometimes. But another interesting point, Panda, is the last time we saw the Warriors play this was against RDC in the qualifiers, and they actually went all the way to OT. Yes, they all had COVID, we know. But 8-6 on this map again, nothing to sort of not take away from that. And they employed the Clash last time, and it worked really well for them. So it's really good to see that they're sticking to things that work for them here, and just sort of playing to that utility, because why not? You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing. We did see a lot of presence at the bottom of main here for Vertex as well, but they're not going to walk on up with those live drones, allowing Aussie to sort of stick to her position here and sort of just shoot a couple of drones and arguably not really have to move at all. Which might come back to haunt Vertex a little bit later, but in, you know, going there, it is going to be the aggression towards main now. So a little bit later, but still there.
Sticking is key. They need to be holding these positions, of course. And if they can stick out just a little bit longer, 4-0 half would be, or 4-0 start to the half would be ideal. Unfortunately, Time for Pi a little bit more damage than she would like. KT going to be the first victim of the round, courtesy of Serenity, who is looking to bite back a little bit after the unfortunate start to Villa she's had so far in the pre-fight. He's got on to Ozzy. All of a sudden, things are quickly coming apart. Soy below on the flank. Could very much upset. Time for Pi finished off by the impact. Soy finished below. It's gearing to be a flawless. Sav in a bit of trouble. Unfortunately, doesn't have a teammate to shoot at. Has to go for the opponents, the enemies. The pre-fire is not going to be enough. Hazel there will close it out. Vertex finally on the board here on top.
Great adaptions from them. They've just turned to hyper-aggression. You know, chuck the drones in, get the information, send the player through, find the kills. I mean, Hazel under Zofia has been deadly across the last couple of maps for Vertex. And, you know, as I just said, if it's not broke, why fix it? Get those drones in, send her in, find those kills, and she's been collecting them. I mean, what? That's the third, fourth, fifth even, 3K for Hazel so far, just on Zofia. In the last couple of maps. Multi-kill, we should say, probably is a better describing word. But, yeah, why not? Vertex have figured out that hyper-aggression worked for them in the past. They've employed it again here, and it's become fruitful for them, so why not? The Warriors will lose one, but still having two in the bag to play off of is going to be good for them going forward, because they still have the possibility to 5-1 here, given that they have had such dominating rounds already on this map. But with Vertex finding that one, things starting to look a little bit better for them on the horizon.
Yeah, look. I mean, 3-1, transition that to a 3-2, then a 3-3. So it's how it begins, the long road back. Right now, Warriors on this trophy statuary. I mean, the last defense on this side, Hazel walked in, was immediately dumpstered by KT on the shotgun. So, I mean, Warriors know what to do.
5 seconds remaining.
It's going to be difficult here for Vertex as well, given that, you know, stress and all that is going to be coming in. It's the last map. They've done so much to be here. And at the end of the day, this could be it if Warriors can find their stride. And we've seen in the past that when Warriors do get that momentum down, they do find their pace and set it for themselves. They just go. They don't stop. They're a well-oiled machine, and they can just keep pumping out wins in terms of rounds. So there's that. But it's a bit of a switch up from Vertex here. They're going to take up Pantry. It's going to be into downstairs, given that this was such a big issue for them in the previous round. Now, Time for Pi is going to be maybe spotted out on drone here. I'm not too sure. But the information's definitely there. The yellow pings are available. Cast will spot Time for Pi, but the death has actually not come out. Sav's going to be the one to open things up on the Buddha, but Cast is going to be there to finish off Time for Pi. The swing, though, from Crips team with the SMG is going to be good for a kill, but the refrag through the China wall from Serenity keeps things even. But that is two big operators gone for Warriors, the smoke and the mute. Soy on the flank could make that a little bit less painful, but still, what a great start for Vertex.
Yeah, but it's at the cost of what you think and your Nomad.
Oh, true, Nomad, yeah.
So flank watch and your longevity, and, well, I guarantee you there's no air jabs in play, so Soy on this flank is going to be able to do absolute bits. Checks the corner. Out from Pantry, shots in. She knows that there is at least one in dining, and Serenity is just going to eat it. The follow-up kill there, but it does do significant damage onto the health bar of Hazel, which means that Ozzy and Sav have an easier time when it comes to the clutch later in the round.
Still, big flank there from Soy, doing a lot of damage, getting that player out of position. Obviously, being the Buck, they're not going to be able to do that vertical to clear those players out from near the bomb chassis, and even the main wall now isn't going to be a viable point of interest for them. Peepo jumping in bathroom here, though. Looks like it's going to be a hard Astro Force. Ozzy's going to be there on the receiving end, but is going to choose to rotate away. Sav as well for the crossfire here. So Warriors set up pretty well to try and hold on for an extended period of time. First Goyo canister is going to be pulled, and the Nitro is actually also going to be drawn out here for Sav. But with 40 seconds left in play, Vertex have a big task here ahead of them, especially if they want to take this from Warriors, who have themselves set up great for the post here.
Oh, last time we were in this position, it did not go so well for Vertex. The split of the attackers was shut down quite cleanly. Peepo on that master bedroom door wants to get in and start that plant. But Sav is there. Looks at the swing, pops the pack, and that is not even a possibility for Vertex now. They've got to rotate around. Sab finds the first. The swing aggressively comes, and the second will be fed to her as well. Warriors take the 5th round. Vertex have their 1, but they're only given the 1.
Really well done from Warriors there. Perfect positional play. I mean, holding off, just waiting. All they had to do there was wait. They didn't need to get aggressive. They had Jaeger sitting back as well, just in case Sav was to die in that position. And yeah, really well done. The 5-1 is definitely possible here for Warriors on the horizon, ever closer. But, I mean, Vertex have been getting really close. They got that 1 round. They got the 1v1 at the start. They got that down to a 2v2 as well. And probably could have actually got the bomb down there, provided they found the kill onto Sav. But, look, Panda, it's 4-1. The Warriors are definitely in form here for Villa. And this being the final round of their defense, all they're doing at the moment is looking to give themselves even more of a lead before they switch over on the attack. And again, it's going to be the quad nitro setup for the kitchen.
We see the trap operators coming in once again. The cat can in play. It's already found its first victim this map. I have no doubt it is likely going to find more. And you know what the best bit about cat can is, Proto?
What,
it's
Panda?
set and forget. You just chuck it down. As soon as it's down, you don't have to think about it ever again.
True.
10 seconds left.
That is very true, actually. I mean, given that Capcan is,
5 seconds left.
yeah, set and forget, but the utility is so big now that you can put as many as you want on it all. You know, whereas you could only have 1. Now you can have 5 if you so choose. Which does make
the Vulcan pack and
exactly. It's a self-detonating incendiary device, which I don't think you're allowed. But here we are. They have them. And in the hands of Sav and Soy, that combo is going to be very scary. But Panda, it's going to be a top stairs take. They kind of have to with all the nitros in play. No pantry attempt, or at least just yet, for the rest of Warriors. But yeah, full hard, south across. It's got to be defaults here, especially when they have so much information on the defense side.
Indeed. Final round of the half. I mean, what are the possibilities, as much as we hate to consider it, that we see if this round goes the way of Warriors, just 5-1 halves traded out?
Yeah, I wouldn't even put it down as a this would never happen type scenario, because it definitely could, given what we saw on map 1. But I mean, Warriors, as much as I hate to be a Vertex pessimist, have been looking extremely sharp on this map so far. And whether or not it's just the defense half, we will find out momentarily after this round. But Vertex are going to have to do some serious catching up in the next round, in the next half, should I say. They're setting up for the rush into Deer here. They're going to make the way through with the first. They're not going to actually spot Sav immediately. She's not going to get any kills, though. Aussie will find one on Buddha, but the damage has been dealt. They're going to run away. They're going to take their lives and leave. Damage has been dealt to Serenity as well, so that's a pretty decent trade and Nomad for the Goyo.
Nitro 1, Nitro 2. Soy uses the explosive potential to find a second in the round. Cass gone. And once again, another key operator, your Nomad, plus your primary Vert threat. They still have 9 breaching charges. But, I mean, Sledge is your ideal, because it's a little bit safer than the rest.
Definitely safer. The thing is as well, I mean, the way that Warriors have been setting up in these late rounds, I mean, look at this crossfire. Aussie is there, Soy's there to play contact. They still have control towards that west side of the map, which is going to make things really hard for Vertex, because they can't get that pinch pressure down through China. They can't get a player through Memorial. They're going to choose to just try and force Hazel into the site here. Obviously on the Zofia, she's been having a really good game, but that Goyo pack, this is going to make things really hard. They're going to not be able to walk into the site here. They're going to have to play for the wall denial. They're still playing really late vertical to get this bandit charge off to actually open the wall up. And they are only now going to get it open with 15 seconds left. It's going to be Crips T to be on the engagement with the shotgun, but Aussie on the long angle is actually going to win the fight out on the Hazel. And now it's going to be the entry into the site. Crips T there to greet the player of Peepo. She's going to go down, and Soy there, who's made her way back into China, means that Warriors are going to be able to lock down a 5-1 half. And Panda, things ever so slowly are looking worse for Vertex.
Yeah, 5-1 half. I mean, this is one of those few situations that is doable. but also incredibly hard to come back from. Yes, it is defense on Villa, but the Warriors, their attack today has been pretty solid. And going onto a map like Villa, which is such a staple of the competitive scene, they will have an understanding of how to play this map. Because otherwise, the alternative is a full reverse sweep and the Vertex crew walk away with it.
That would be a madness. Provided they can find, 6 rounds here? Or 5 rounds minimum.
Attackers need to locate and
The scary thing, though, going into this half for Vertex is 1 round separates them from match point, and that's essentially their buffer, right? They only have 1 mistake to make. If they want OT, it is going to have to be flawless bar none if they want to make it to at least the position where they get a shot at going to OT here. They did it on club, but that was when the deficit was 3-3 on the half. We are now looking down the barrel of a 5-1. Can they do it? It's nothing simpler than that. Can they do it? They did it on club. Now the odds are slightly more stacked in the Warriors' favors. Can they do it again?
must locate and defuse a bomb.
They need to get in. They need a 5-1 half. The Vertex on the defense. That is... look, again, as much as I want to say, that's not going to happen, it's impossible. We've seen it. We've seen it happen before.
We have.
This is entirely doable for Vertex. It's just a much harder task than it was, say, 3 or 4 rounds ago.
Provided Vertex had maybe found an extra round here or there, definitely a doable sort of instance. But with time for Pi on the Zofia, and the live drones there for the Warriors, this is what we were missing in map number 2. They're just a hyper-aggression, fluid style. Get the live drones in, put time for Pi on an LMG, and let her go for it, because that's all they need to do. As soon as they find these opening peaks, we saw it on Clubhouse, right? As soon as that switch over, we saw those 2 kills upstairs in the master bedroom. Very similar vibes, and it was actually time for Pi that did it there as well. So, yeah, look, great start of the round for Warriors, continuing that momentum from their defense all the way through onto their attacking round, and so far, it's been looking awesome for them.
And the OK drone spotted and cleaned up. Peepo has 1 remaining in the hopes of trying to deny a plant. Time for Pi. Interesting. Play more position, trying to read into an over-aggression on the side of the defense, and the LMGs are just going hard. There are 3 in play for the Warriors. Really, they could just walk on in and hold down mouse 1 and pick this round up.
Yeah, especially with Ying. It is Sav on the Ying, though, so you've got to be careful if you're friendly. You've got to be careful if you're friendly, right? This wall is going to be difficult, provided the mute jammers are still up, and obviously some damage through the drone hole as well here on the Crips T. Going to make things slightly difficult, but now the wall will be opened up fully with the last remaining Kairos pellet, which means Vault is no longer viable. Peepo to start things off with a kill on the time for Pi, but Panda, the execute is among us. Vertex, low HP, but definitely doable for them as the bomb starts to go down.
Oh my god, just can Dallas Castle fall as well. There was no hope of contesting this plant. Just no seeing whatsoever. Peepo doesn't have a hope, not a prayer. Warriors are on match and map point.
Wow, what a turnaround so far for the Warriors. To go 8-6, then 7-3, now to be 6-1 up on map number 3. Panda, it's been a roller coaster. We've got pretty much every side of the story tonight. We've had the OT game, we've had the middle of the road reverse game, the map trade, and now we're getting the stern talking to on Villa. We really have been graced with all of it.
Yeah,
it's made for a great game, though.
It really has. It really has made for a very entertaining watch. And trophy statue we had to split.
Protect your bombs from
how much longer can Vertex hold on?
Look. I don't know, Panda. I really don't know. It's not looking good. They've done their best. They really have, but they can dig deep here and really find something that is just out of the blue that they can put in the front of the Warriors and throw them off completely is the only way that they can really have a chance here, because the Warriors on Villa have just been absolutely clinical in everything that they're doing. The live drones are there. The frags have been there. The plants have been there. The strategy has been available. I mean, we've only seen, what, one round from them. But even on their defense, it's a very similar style of play. Just starting inside the build, right?
Yeah.
And Vertex have just been struggling from day dot.
I mean, you know what else has been there, Proto, throughout this entire match that, I mean, no one could have accounted for. And, well, it's Buddha falling, unfortunately. Soy traded back, and it's 2 in fact for Vertex. But Aussie, with her LMG, is going to contribute 1 more, bring us back to a 3-3 position. KT aggressively in through Pantry. And they've kept the Finker and the Ying, so they've got 2 tools to work with it.
2 good tools as well. Adrenal Surges, Flashbangs, you can never go wrong. They do still have a lot of hard breach as well, obviously all of Crypt's T's utility, as well as Sav's secondary hard breach. So it's a lot to work with. It is a lot to work with. Now, the only issue is they're going to have to clear all this utility off of the wall. They are going to be spotted out, or at least the drone will be spotted out inside of the Z Hall. Maestro also on the ping as well. This could be a free kill for someone, provided they want to peek into red, but no one seems game enough here for Warriors to try and take that frag on, where Peepo could have been a free kill on the pre-fire, but I guess they weren't too interested in that. And they're going to walk away. The wall's still muted though, so that's going to be a pretty big issue. And actually the double impact trick there.
Ooh.
Triple impact trick there.
Candela into Astra. I'm not sure if it's quite hit its mark. Oh, tagged Cass hitting the shoulder there. But unfortunately, not enough to confirm the kill, and she will get herself out of danger. A little pot flash. Unfortunately, it doesn't work the same way for either the Havana or the Ying. They spot the Whamai on the road, taking the push in. Peepo's there for 1. Now down to the 3 versus 2. KT is going to have to hit some ripper shots. Aussie in support. They've got a minute to do it, though. They've got time. They've got room. They've got a limited amount of utility. But Peepo, with the older, rips heads and takes KT as well. Good for 3 to close the round out for Vertex.
Looking good. Vertex have made some great changes. Little bit passive here for them, but it's working out. It really is paying off for them in the end. And Warriors still have match point at the helm, but that's 1 round that Vertex are closer to coming back for this possibility of OT. I mean, again, it's going to be hard, but it's never completely impossible. Anything can happen here for both teams. But yeah, great way to start it off. Came down to a pretty dicey situation, provided 2 kills lost at the start, but really well done by the site players. Peepo, 3k on the Alda, on the Maestro, really well done. And yeah, 1 round, it's the start of a long journey for them, but a good start nonetheless.
Good start indeed. They need 4 more though, so like the start is great, but the road is long, unfortunately. And Vertex, they head to Aviator Games. Last time, I don't know. It is what it is. Resilience is key. That is all I can say for sure. Vertex need to be resilient if they want to chance it over time. But I mean, how long can the team last? A team that has already played 2 matches tonight.
Yeah, 2 pretty insane matches as well at that. And on top of that, it's, you know, it's 4 rounds. It's not like 1 round like it was on the first map. It's not an easy win. Like it's 4 full rounds with no mistakes against the undefeated Warriors. So, look, difficult here, but again, not impossible. They have made some good changes so far, and whether or not they can continue making those changes is a big question, especially now that they've sort of just employed that hyper-aggressive, the Warriors have implied that hyper-aggressive sort of style. Time for fire. These live drones have come back. As I say that, though, obviously not droning deep enough. Hazel will find the opening kill there and put down a really big player so far for Warriors.
There's support there too, and this extension over towards the master bedroom. So these drones are going to have to be key. 2 spotted, 1 in statuary and 1 on the landing. Stim's going to wear off for now. Aussie has 2 remaining. But you lost time for Pi. That is a huge amount of utility clear. They will find Hazel, though, in the end. Soy loses a decent chunk of her health, courtesy of the MK14. Will fall, but KT there to cover. No! What a drift headshot there from Cass. The player advantage still in favour of Vertex for now.
Wow. Dedicating all those players off towards that side of the map has paid out for them in huge, Panda. They not only now have got the diffuser down, which is going to cost a couple of extra seconds to go and retrieve, they also have dealt a lot of damage to Crips T. With only 1 Adrenal Surge left as well, it's not going to be too much in terms of consolidation for lost HP, but it's some. Nonetheless, a 2 versus 3 is doable here. Crips T and Aussie definitely have the ability to do it. The kit as well in their hands, and the question will be, no, there is no question. There is no question, Panda. It's a pre-placed Nitro and 90 to close the round out. And Vertex are going to close the gap even more.
How did that?
I don't know how that killed Finker. I have no clue how that killed Finker through the pillar there. I don't know, but all I'm going to say is Shrapnel 2.0, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, it's a start. They're now within 3, so all of a sudden the gap is closing. Kitchen and dining. But just how many more times can Vertex do it here?
I don't know. I don't know at this point, Panda. It's so hard to predict this game. I mean, we get the 8-6, then we get the 7-3 reverse map. Now we're seeing Warriors unable to close out a 6-1 lead at the moment. And I don't know. I really don't know what to say, Panda. It is shaping up to be one of the most interesting games we've seen. As I said it was going to be this way, and it is. If Vertex can keep this up, and Warriors cannot manage to find their footing at all, this is going to be insane.
Well and truly on the mark there. Oh, what a comeback story it would be. The reverse sweep and its fruition. Not just reverse sweeping out the maps, but reverse sweeping out the decider in Villa to take us to overtime to confirm victory once and for all. Bet the Warriors, all they need is 1 to shut it down.
5 seconds left.
It's, 1 round is
Attackers must locate
not a lot
and defuse the bomb.
at all. Especially when the breathing room for Vertex is that single round. Warriors, obviously, 3 to play with. You know, they're a little bit more on the not too worried side, albeit they don't want to let too many slip. Because if they give that confidence to Vertex, that confidence boost could then turn around to haunt them in the very near future. However, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue, Panda. It's going to be a relatively default clear from Warriors here at the start of the round. They have players upstairs they need to deal with, but they're taking their time. Obviously, closing it out is going to be their main focus.
Indeed, time for Pi. Already in. Oh, that's a dangerous gap to be contesting. Knowing full well that Serenity was in the middle of the site. The pings! The pre-fire's not there! Luckily, Aussie on the job will find Hazel and the pings coming through. Serenity tucked into the corner, will somehow escape in the hail of bullets that followed. So fair loss for Hazel, who has the last couple of rounds been a big player with that MK14, and Serenity being tagged as much as she was. That's a trade you take for the Warriors.
They're going to have to, especially now drawing the Nitro out from Cass as well downstairs. It's sorry, not even from Cass, from Buddha. They attempted to use that one out. So the Pulse still has the Nitro available. They are going to be on the cardiac sensor, Cass, trying to find these players. But with the IQ on the board, Sav, she's going to have the ability to track this player all the way throughout the site. The Nitro also now being used, leaves no explosive utility to pair with that cardiac sensor. It is going to be purely information here. And that's all it's going to really be providing now as Warriors start to open up stairs and the ball into the site to get ready for this plan.
I was mildly concerned that there could be someone on the door, Sav, above with Soy. There is a lot that could go wrong here in the final minute. Oh no, Cass! You can't be letting KT take kills like that. Yeah, Cass is absolutely spewing. It was indeed ahead. KT wants to get in, go for that plant, and she will do just that on the job. Looking to try and get that diffuser down. Nothing to deny, nothing at all as the players in the site flooding. Aussie will go down. Sam there to answer back. It's a trade fest. But the plant is down. KT has the angle, and Soy is there in support. There's yet to be a massive flurry of kills in the rotate. No, KT might get swung on, but she hits the shot. Serenity to fall. It's Peepo alone. There's too many angles, too many players to contest. Goes for the swing, but KT is there. The Warriors will hold fast and defend the title.
Ladies and gentlemen, not only your first place representatives, but undefeated in 2 whole seasons of Women's League 6 and 7. The Warriors hold on to that title and ultimate bragging rights at the end of the day. What a monumental team, a monumental roster from both sides of the cards. But at the end of the day, after a huge battle back and forth, what a way to close things out for the evening. A bit of a shaky start for the Vodafone Warriors, but they get the job done at the end of the day. Panda, what an insane game day.
It was, just exactly what you'd expect going into the grand finals. The Warriors are a top-tier team coming into this competition. So with Vertex, to push them to the final map as well. And it looked like for a moment that possibility was going to be there of the push to overtime. But there you are on your screen. Your champions for this XP Esports Women's League season is going to be the Warriors. Time for Pi, Sav, KT, Aussie Princess, who takes up almost half the screen with their name, Soy, AJ, Tiger, Beans, and Mons. It might be a very, very storied roster, but one that deserves this accolade.
100%. Champions in that, but undefeated champions.
Champions in that.
To back. Champions in that. Back-to-back undefeated champions. And I believe it's actually majority the same roster, if I'm not wrong. I think it might even be the complete same roster across 2 seasons. The longevity of said roster is an insane feat in itself. But to be, we keep saying it, undefeated, back-to-back champions. What a feat, Panda. What a feat. There were the days of Elevate, there were the days of Quacked, but now it is the days of Warriors.
Yeah, a feat indeed. But look, you know what the best bit about it is, Proto? We get to chat with both teams before we close things out. So what we're going to do is throw it to a break now. We'll get one of those interviews underway, and we'll look to round things out. We'll see you guys back very, very soon.
Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now. Everybody talk. I just get it done. Everybody talk. I just get it done.
Hello and welcome back. Coming back from the break, we're going to jump straight on into an interview. We're going to have a chat with the girls from Vertex. Coming in second place for the season is no small achievement, of course, Proto. They put in the hard yards. They absolutely pushed it to the limit in that grand final as well. Full 3 maps by the end, but unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. But, silver medal is nothing to sneeze at.
No, definitely isn't. It definitely is not. Anything to sneeze at all. A great feat. And, we're going to have a quick word with them.
Well, let's get them on in. It's Cass and Serenity coming in for a chat from Vertex. Welcome, ladies. Unfortunate you couldn't pull out the win, but you guys still put on a hell of a show. What's it like? You come in this season, you're playing under the Vertex banner. What have they been like to work with?
Vertex has been really good. Naturally, I know Kaza from when I was with Ovitz or Skyfire, both same season. He's always been really supportive and in tune with the team, in my personal experience. So it was really good to have the experience with him again and meet some people at Vertex who brought us into their org and cheered us on.
Yeah, that's always great. Obviously, more of a siege question here. How are you guys feeling off the bank? Considering that it was the Warriors pick, to walk in and 7-3, what was that like? How was that going in the VC?
Um,
Well,
Go.
I mean, we haven't actually done like any prep for bank. We've scrimmed it twice. I think our recent bank was we all played ranked as a team and did it really well. That was it. So when it came to bank, we were kind of like, oh no, what do we do? We did a little bit of like a dry run beforehand, and then when we're doing so really well on like defense, we're like, okay, but when we get to attack, we're just gonna like, we're not gonna do well. Like it's gonna go like OT, like, you know. So for us to go like pretty well like on attack as well was like really great to see.
And I mean, look, from stage to stage, we always see that second place team get that much closer to potentially taking up first. Do you girls reckon that, you know, given one more stage, you could be the ones to upset Warriors?
It's always a potential thing. You know, everyone who plays a game is human, and that leaves chance for mistakes.
Except for you, Serenity, which we got to see in map 1.
I don't know. Did you see my Villa performance?
We don't talk about that. We're just talking about Clubhouse.
It was someone else on my PC for sure. No, it's definitely like the skill gap is getting very smaller and smaller each season, so it's really good to see just people come in and play the game, and that level of competition rising each season.
Yeah, it's always good. Speaking of the seasons, how are you guys feeling going forward for Season 8 possibility? Is there going to be a return? Anything changing up? What are your thoughts going forward for next season?
Well, I know Peepo has been begging to come in and play, so I don't know. We'll have to see. I think we were happy with our performance from tonight, and yeah, I think that's as much as we can give you right now.
But probably possible roster changes, but we're not too sure yet.
So we're going to get 2 Serenities on the roster now. Is what you're saying? Just mouse in each hand. You can just move with your feet. We'll figure out the semantics. But look, ladies, thank you for giving us a hell of a show. Thank you for giving us a hell of a season. Before we let you head off, is there anyone you'd like to shout out?
Definitely though, as I said, like they've been really supporting and cheering us on, which is really good to see. Naturally, the admins, casters, all the other players, the observer. I'd also like to thank my team. We've got Hazel, Cass, Buddha, Sarah, and Pippa and Laura as subs. And then just anyone who watched and supported from the streams.
Yeah, like the fans and also the Warriors girls, like they're amazing. They always put up a fight as well. So yeah, GG's.
Well, look, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you guys back next season, whether that's with Vertex, whether that's new. Who knows? We just look forward to seeing you guys back in the next one. Proto, it's been an absolute pleasure. Vertex, they've really come in, and we've really enjoyed their presence this stage. We'll let you girls head off and celebrate second, which, like we said, that's a big thing, a big finish. Silver medalists overall for the season. Proto, that's big. I mean, you just got to love the attitude. Like, come in, the skill gap's closing, season to season. That possibility of defending a title becomes scarcer and scarcer.
We've seen loads of the teams this season really take a step up. I mean, RDC, making playoffs, even just a lot of the other rosters that have not only joined new orgs, made new friends, come on in. As Serenity said, the skill gap is closing. We see the level of play just upping every week, ante up, and it just keeps getting better. And it is really great to see. As the league develops, everyone is also improving, and it makes for some insane siege. We got to see Exhibit A of that here tonight. And yeah, second place, no real scoff there for Vertex at all.
All right, well, we've got another interview, so what we're going to do, so it's another quick break. When we come back, we'll be chatting with the Vodafone Warriors, hot off the back of their season defense of that title. We'll be back soon. See you then. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Proto, we are going to be joined by 2 of the members of the winning team, Vodafone Warriors, Aussie Princess, and the most impactful player in the Women's League this season, KT, the Crips walking tarantula herself, coming in, Congratulations, ladies. You've won the season. You've defended the title. How does it feel?
Oh my god, so good. And it's so good hearing you talk to Katie like that. How long have you been waiting to say the impactful player to her?
After that whole tweet thing, I had to bite my tongue. Obviously, other competitions, I was allowed to say whatever, but now the season's over, so technically it's open season on KT.
Yeah, look, I respect it. I like it. But it's such an amazing feeling winning again, and it's such like it's been really close, like Serenity said. The competition is just getting better and better each season. And oh my gosh, it's just a lot. There's a lot happening today. Holy.
Yeah, it feels really good. It's a bit of a relief, I think, because 3 maps are like BO3s can really go either way. As you guys saw on Bank, on Clubhouse, it's very fine margins. So I think it's I'm very relieved to come away with the victory. Yeah.
Speaking of Bank, so a couple of questions. First of all, starting off, what was the go with Sav on that rappel there? What was the comms like on
there's
that?
A tweet.
You'll see a tweet in about 5 minutes.
We'll see the tweet.
Yes,
Okay. I'll
there's
read
already
that
a tweet up. There's already a tweet up. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, there's already a tweet. Okay.
Everyone, I believe
there you
the
go.
tweet is.
Time for pie. Everyone go.
Sav, I think
question.
doesn't play with outlines.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think I called someone E3. I got downed. I said, "Sav, don't kill me." I got up and she killed me. So
Sav killed me.
That's all there is to it. I think Sav was playing a little bit for Vertex on Bank there, so it is what it is.
And speaking of the vendetta against UKT,
Oh my god!
I mean, talk us through Clubhouse. You're trying to get the plant down, and Soy just lets you die.
I believe that was he getting the plant.
Was it? I don't know.
Well, yeah, it was me. It was me.
I think it was.
It was me. Yeah,
yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I think
that was
that one
miscommunication. That was that bad.
Sawyers thought there was someone else alive. It thought it was a 3v2 as opposed to 2v2. That was just a miscommunication. Like, it happens. It was unfortunate. And Sawyer knew what she did wrong after, but it's fine. It is what it is. We moved on to the next round immediately. So
we won it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, it's an irrelevant question. I just thought it was KT that died.
So
that's all we really cared about.
It's something that we'll learn from and we'll use for next season, I think. So we won't make that same mistake again, I don't think. We'll make plenty more, don't get me wrong. But we don't make the same mistake twice very often. So hopefully.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of no mistakes being made, how does it feel 2 seasons in a row, completely undefeated, dropping 3 maps across 2 whole seasons? How does that feel?
3 maps? Where's the third
I'm pretty sure
from?
3 maps.
We've dropped 2.
I'm pretty sure 3. Didn't you drop one last season?
We
there you go.
didn't
2
drop
maps.
Last season
Even better.
The season,
there you go.
A map each,
2. Yeah.
A map each. Well, there you go.
for
Even better.
It feels so. We work so hard, I think, as well. Like, every team works hard, but we work so hard, especially with the schedules that we have in our team. We have a nurse that works night shifts. We have, retail workers, bar workers, all kinds of crazy schedules, and we fit in when we can. And we work so hard to try and get better and improve and master certain maps and certain strats and whatnot. It's so good seeing the outcome of all those things and seeing all the hard work pay off, basically.
And now I do have one final question before we.
It's to Katie, isn't it?
No, it's for both of you. I mean, we've seen KT step up. Like I said, not just the most impactful player in the Women's League, but she's the most impactful female player in the region. Honestly, when are you stepping up and joining the big dogs? When are we going to see you in OCN or OCL?
It's just not... look, I wouldn't say it never, but you saw me in those games, so I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen. Boy, I don't know. Katie, when are you going to get me in a team? For sale.
No,
get me an AZ.
You can't expect
get me an AZ.
DKT to carry you every game.
But I can.
No,
get me an AZ.
I don't think that'll happen. But
expectations there.
No, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens next season. AZ? No,
I'll take Katie's start. Don't worry.
But yeah, we'll see what happens next season. I think for now we're just gonna savor in the moment tonight. Maybe watch a VOD back or something like that, and then
Victory
tomorrow
feast,
or next week.
No rest for the wicked. You're already going to do VOD work.
Yeah.
But look, ladies, in all seriousness, before we let you head off, is there anyone you'd like to shout out? Anyone you want to thank for this season?
Yes. You go for it, Aussie first.
Oda, once again, for all the work for the last few weeks and helping us, strats and 3 AM dry runs, which Katie never shows up to. I don't know. She's not committed enough, I suppose. You're not. And a personal thanks to Brendan as well for all the time that he puts in for myself. Vodafone Warriors Esports for looking after us for the last few seasons. The casters, production, admins, thank you guys so much. You all work so hard to bring this every season. Thanks to the supporters in chat every week. We really appreciate you. We go back in the chat and then in the VOD, sorry, and see the chat and we see all the support. So you haven't gone unnoticed. Thank you. And good game to all the Vertex girls. You guys played amazing, and I hate versing you because you just stress me out. I can't win gunfights. I can't do it. I get warbangs, but I can't win gunfights. But thank you all. Thank you so much. Katie?
Yeah, so everyone above that Ozzy mentioned, obviously. Obviously, shout out once again to my boys on AZ. Bryce, Ben, and Mackenzie, especially. Mackenzie helped me a lot in devising a lot of the strats for the Warriors. A lot of our Oregon strats in particular, obviously, have a lot of semblance of AZ. Other than that, obviously, thanks to Oda, thanks to our team. Thank you to the girls as well for for an unforgettable season. I'm so sorry. And obviously, thank you to the Vertex. Thanks, Blue Panda. Thanks to the Vertex girls as well for a great season. I was so close to making it without swearing.
Look, I suppose if I was allowed one last year on broadcast,
yeah,
Alex,
I'm very sorry. I just want to make that very clear. But shout out to my wife, Cass, on Vertex as well.
Oh my goodness.
I had to do it, Ozzy. I had to.
You did.
Classic KT.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you to our team as well. Yeah, we love you guys. We're so proud of you all.
Thank you to the rest of the league as well. RDC, Big Brain, everyone else for like a wonderful season. It was really, I like echoing what Ozzy and Serenity said. The skill gap closes season by season. So I look forward to what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look, we'll let you ladies head off and enjoy what is surely going to be a competitive ruling or a protest against KT after that during an interview. Not on at all. Proto, we'll let them head off. Ladies, you go celebrate. Why am I not surprised that it was KT? Of course, it was going to be. But Proto, that does bring us to the end of our season. They defend the title. They're crowned champions. Once again, they walk away absolutely deserving this possibility.
Dominant, I think, is the only way you can describe it, really. It is dominant. They have had 2 monumental seasons as a roster. We kind of got a little bit of a hint there that there is possibility of a continuance going forward into season number 8. Obviously, I don't think that we should shy away from that. In saying that, though, the question will then be, can they do 3 seasons undefeated, Panda? They've done 2. But yeah, look.
It's gonna be hard without this star player, KT, because Alex is a bit of a stickler for the rules, and you can't say that on broadcast.
Got to hit them with the fine. Got to hit them with the 12-month ban.
12-month suspension. If it's good enough for XSET, it's good enough for the Vodafone Warriors. 12-month suspension, $5,000 fine, and look, we'll hopefully see you back sometime next year. But no, look, it was a great season. It was a great show. They absolutely put it on for us this year, and we cannot be more excited for the next. There you go, the final bracket. The Warriors, they dropped 2 maps in the playoffs, which no one would have expected. They still cleaned it up in the end. Denied the reverse sweep. Vertex, I mean, they 100% deserve to be right there alongside them.
100%. Second place is definitely where they belong, albeit the top spot was a point of contention for them, very closer than any had been before them. But yeah, I mean, as it was highlighted in the interviews, the skill gap closes every season, Panda. So who knows? Next season might be the time that someone finally catches up and takes that away. But
let's
final
get
placements
on into it. Yeah, the final placements. The top 4, the Vodafone Warriors walk away with a cool half of that prize pool. Vertex with 1,000, Big Brain Esports with 500. And Radical Rebels are going to get themselves some R6 credits to no doubt go towards those share skins that are looking so clean, so tasty. And once again, your champions, it is the Vodafone Warriors, undefeated again. They've dropped maps, but never a match. Back-to-back season champions.
I don't think it gets much better than that, Panda. I mean, the same roster, everything going well for them, undefeated. It is pretty much the biggest flex, I think, that you can have as a back-to-back undefeated team in any league, respectively. But to come in and do it in the style and fashion that the Warriors girls have done it without a fail pretty much every week on and off of broadcast behind the scenes is amazing. They have had a monumental season.
Yeah, and I mean, look, Proto, my camera's doing its thing again. It loves to mess around. But you know what we're not messing around with? We have some very exciting news.
We do.
We're not done with the Women's League. We are for this season. But next season, it gets even better. Of course, we bring some new things into the fold, not to mention a new naming sponsor coming in. We are becoming the Unstoppable Women's League, presented by Pop Sugar, coming 30th of June. 8 teams, double round robin, leading up to that single elim finals. I mean, this season was amazing. Next season is going to be unstoppable.
It really is completely unstoppable, especially if the Warriors have anything to say about it. But Pop Sugar coming in, livening some things up for us and making it even better than it already is. Same prize pool, same people behind the scenes and the same teams we all love. Very excited, Panda, to jump in on this with Pop Sugar. It's going to be insane. Unstoppable, some would even say.
Yeah, look, it makes you even more excited for next season as well. And who knows, we might see some new faces coming in, some new teams, some new organizations to come and potentially upset our current champions, given that closing of the skill gap. They may not be indomitable next season.
They might not. Panda. We don't know what holds for us next season. We could see the Warriors finally kicked off their perch. We could see a new victor, but we also could see the Warriors turn back to their ways and keep their undefeated streak. But you know who we are going to be seeing every season, and we love to see every season, Panda? Our sponsors. We wouldn't be here without them. We really wouldn't. We'd love to thank them all. Obviously, Zowie, Ubisoft Computer Alliance, and ZQ Racing. It's all because of them. Thank you. Thank you so much. We've enjoyed another season because of your gracious help.
Yeah, and look, it wouldn't be possible without production, so thank you to all us, Casters, Proto, Spud, Cthulhu, Nuttery, and Sky behind the scenes of the observing, and of course, Alex and Cortaro is always making the ship run smoothly behind the scenes. But, Proto, that's it. We're done. The season's over. The Vodafone Warriors remain undefeated for another season. And unfortunately, if you want to find out what happens to their story, will they remain undefeated, you're going to have to wait until next season. Of course, Season 8, just around the corner, the Unstoppable Women's League. We'll see you guys. Have a good one. See you next season.
Watch me now. Watch me now. Watch me now. I just get it done. Everybody talk. I just get it done.